So here's the deal, right? Someone made a 2-axis matchup chart maker, but it's like 2 years old and it doesn't have any of the DLC. So I downloaded their project off of GitHub. I had to change it, so I went into Unity. It's starting up right now, and booted up my Visual Studio. Haven't touched Visual Studio in a hot minute, and made sure that it works. So here we are. The Rez's eSports matchup chart maker, actually functional. Look at this. It got all the DLC. Okay, so we have 2 axes, and the axes are actually different. So here we have Shulk wins, and here we have Shulk loses, and here we have my confidence rating. So not confident, and here we have very confident. So this is why, because I feel like, I'm not confident in a lot of matchups, because like I haven't been playing this character for that long. Let me turn on the music a little bit. I haven't been playing the character for that long, so. Like, for example, like Ice Climbers, I'm not confident in at all. Against Ice Climbers, I'm not confident about the placing at all. So that's basically what this confidence is about how confident am I in the placing, right? So how much potential does it have to still change? So let's actually start with some of the easier ones. Like, I'm pretty confident that Shulk wins. You know, let me actually talk about snapping so we can snap it to the grid. There you go. So like I'm pretty confident that Shulk wins. I'm not like super confident in how hard Shulk wins, but like I played this once. I can make a 3-axis, but it would have to be 3D, and I don't know about that. Yeah, I get what you mean, Frozen. Like the mental strain is definitely like a big thing in matchups. So like Dr. Mario is like an easy one, right? Like Kirby, we definitely like beat Kirby. I can like put Kirby and like Jigglypuff. It's like all winning, and I'm like pretty confident that we're gonna win. There's not a lot of discussion about these, right? We actually get into some spicy ones from the get-go. All right, chat gets to decide the first matchup. First suggestion, I'll do first. The swing big sword matches, exactly. Haven't changed since Smash 4. Greninja first. All right, Greninja, Joker, Sephiroth. I'll do Greninja, Joker, Sephiroth in that order. So Greninja, I actually have Greninja. It's like right here. I think it's like right here. Greninja might... Nah. Okay, so here's the thing. I used to think Greninja beats Shulk, but ever since Ledge Slip was discovered, this matchup got a lot easier. So here's the deal, right? Shulk cannot wall Greninja out the way he walls out normal characters because his forward air and back air have too much landing lag and get whiff punished easily by Greninja. His back air actually works pretty decently on paper against Greninja, but the issue is that Greninja is so small that he often goes under the back air. So in neutral, you cannot use like half your moveset. But then, like, also we cannot use down tilt because of Greninja's like amazing jump. But then on the other hand, like our neutral air does really well against Greninja. Greninja really struggles to whiff punish our neutral air. Because of our mobility arts, we're really good at landing on platforms, and Greninja kind of struggles to punish platform landings, in my opinion. I feel like we shut down full hops really easily. It's not easy to parry if I don't use the full, so I don't use full neutral air. So there's 2 situations, right? So there's like, say that we're standing next to each other, then I don't use like the rising part because the back hit is a free parry. Like this is hard reactable, right? If I do like the neutral air and I kind of like loop around, that's hard reactable. However, if Greninja is like a little bit further out, they would have to dash up and then parry it, which is a lot harder to do and actually not possible in a lot of scenarios. So in that situation, I can actually use the back hit, and it actually denies jumps very well too. And then if he is closer, I can actually do a jump, and I can do a landing there, which is disjointed, which is like -1, and it's also 6 frames of landing lag. So like if he's closer, even if he does like dash back, dash forward, he cannot really whiff punish the landing neutral air because it's just that safe. 6 frames of landing lag on a sword character is not okay. So we can actually, like, our neutral air is really good against him. We shut down his full ups very hard with like reactive up Bs, which are pretty good. So generally, yeah, it's insane, Nurse. So like the matchup is really boring for Shulk because literally all Shulk does is shield because Greninja's grab isn't the best, and Nair And like sometimes back air and down to does callouts, but not really. So Shulk plays a very boring game. Greninja, on the other hand, is one of the few matchups where he kind of has to rely on short hops because of how hard his full hops can get shut down. And then if he does rely on short hops, then he opens himself up to more forward airs, which then makes it easier for Shulk, stuff like that. So there's actually some very interesting interactions. But the reason why I think it's even, because I think the neutral is overall, it's like slightly Greninja's favored. But I feel Greninja kind of gets bodied off stage because of ledge slip. Like, ledge slip forward air is amazing. I can ledge slip nair if I'm not sure about the timing. I can ledge slip fast fall up B to cover, like, the entire side of the stage. To cover a lot of, like, diagonal, like, right the wall mix-ups as well. And even, like, cover high if I do, like, a ledge slip up B. Like, it can cover the ledge plus high, which is really good too. And, like, even if Greninja mixes up past me, I'm often still in a good situation because I get a trump, and then I get post-trump pressure, which is pretty decent against Greninja in my opinion. And then the other thing that I discovered is that, like, you can platform camp Greninja pretty well, which grants you access to your arts a lot more. And then, like, speed art nair is actually very hard for Greninja to deal with because of Greninja's relatively lackluster out of shield. Like, he can actually struggle a lot with, like, speed art neutral. So I say it's even. Oh, and of course, I mean, we can shield art out of his skill confirms, which helps a lot as well. So overall, I would say, yeah, it's pretty even. If anyone wins, it's probably Greninja. But at the moment, I can kind of see it as an even matchup. Joker. Let's see, where's Joker? I had to add Joker myself. There he is. So I'm a little bit more confident in Joker than Greninja. Even though I played way more against Greninja, I feel like I've... like, ledge slip has changed the matchup so much that it added a lot of, like, uncertainty. Like, not a lot of uncertainty, but still a decent amount of uncertainty in the matchup. I feel like I'm a little bit more certain about Joker, and I feel like Shulk has a decent winning chance. So Joker nerfs were actually pretty good for Shulk because Joker tries to control the mid-range. Let's actually put, like, Shulk in the middle because that looks cool. Joker controls the mid-range with a lot of Iha, and Iha got nerfed, which is big for Shulk, because Shulk with speed art, or even jump in neutral, which is pretty decent against Joker, surprisingly enough, can call out Iha so hard on reaction now, and actually, like, oftentimes get, like barely a punish, which is really, really good, and a big change to the matchup. So I think before the nerfs, Shulk beat Joker already. After the nerfs, it just got, like, even that much easier. Shulk is amazing at stalling out Arsene. Between Jump Monado and Shield Monado, it's very hard for Joker to get a solid hit in. And then, like, one important thing about the matchup is that there's a very clear dynamic with Arsene, in my opinion. So Shulk has one objective, which is to make sure that Joker doesn't get two Arsenes in a single stock. So what Shulk wants to do is he wants to, like, wait for his speed plus his jump and smash, and if he has all three of those, he wants to aggress. And then if he gets a hit, he wants to go to either jump if he's further off stage. And Joker has a lot of issues, like, dealing with Shulk's offstage, in my opinion. Even though, like, Rebel's Guard is a pretty good tool, I won't deny that. It's still hard to, like, do the proper timing mix-ups against Shulk when Shulk has jump, right? So Shulk can jump and then threaten the fast fall forward air. And then after he's further down, if he didn't do anything, he can still threaten the double jump forward there. So he has a lot of threat time. And then like, smash just makes sure that even if you don't get the offstage gimp, you can oftentimes kill Joker before he gets his second Arsene. If he does get two Arsenes, he's probably gonna win though. Like, it's not guaranteed, but if he gets two Arsenes, he's probably gonna win. That said, again, like, Shulk can stall out the Arsenes very well, so if he gets two Arsenes and you mitigate them very well, that helps a lot as well. And of course, like, Joker's second up B, like the Arsene up B, is it's bad against Shulk, dude. That's all I can say. It's really bad, especially with ledge slip. It's even worse. And the tether, that used to be a really good thing in the matchup, where, like, if you're in Smash, Joker can, like, tether and, like, drop and tether, stall again. Like, ledge slip downer actually beats tethers. And it's not 100% guaranteed as far as I'm aware, but it's pretty damn close. And if you hit them with it, then you know, he's just dead for tether stalling you. So he cannot tether stall either, which is really good. Yeah, I try to switch to Buster as well. The only thing about the matchup is that Buster can like instantly lose you the game. If he rebel guards a solid Buster hit, or if he like Arsene counters a solid Buster hit, you can like die, or he can get a second Arsene, and then you lose. So I'm not a big fan of Arsene in the matchup, or of Buster in the matchup. But like I do use it versus Arsene more, and I try to like play around the counter if possible. So, Sephiroth. I actually had to add Sephiroth as well. So, I actually played a shit ton against Azrael. So, I'm pretty confident in this matchup. I think I'm about, like, Greninja levels of confident. Because the character still has a lot to explore. I think the character is, like, super good. But I think it's, like, a slight edge for Shulk. Is it as good as Joker? I might move Joker just down just a smidge. I don't know, man. It's hard to say. It's about the same advantage. I think Sephiroth might be a little bit more. But then, like, this feels a little bit disingenuous if I put him up here. So, Sephiroth, I think, is winning for Shulk. And Sephiroth has kind of... It's kind of crazy because Sephiroth and Arsene kind of have the same dynamic in that Shulk wants to play around Smash a lot. So in a lot of games against Sephiroth, you'll find yourself not interacting for the sake of your Smash cooldown, actually. So Smash is amazing against Sephiroth because you can kill him before he gets his wing. And it's actually not uncommon at all. Because, like, say that he's at 50, right? You smash forward air him off stage. You go to jump. He doesn't have his wing yet. So now he has to recover against jump, like a jump choke, chasing him to forward air him. And if you just touch him, you can nair him even. He just dies. Outside of that, Shulk can actually beat Octoslash relatively reliably. If he does a horizontal Octoslash, we can often counter it, or we can like down air it from above. If he does a diagonal one, we can actually drop past the ledge and like up B it from the side. And because our up B kind of hits him from diagonally below, it actually can beat Octoslash. The hardest one to beat is the purely vertical one. But the purely vertical one, like, he has to get into that position first, which doesn't often happen. And one thing that is super derpy about this character is that his up B has this flag enabled that basically says, if I hit a shield, I'm going to shorten my distance. And counters activate through shield hitboxes. So if he does a max range up B, and you ledge drop counter, you can shorten his up B and make him not get to the ledge and not hit him because Shulk's counter is so bad that you don't hit him, and then you shorten the up B, and that is why you gimp him. So, like, God bless Vision being ass. I find versus Shulk is pretty easy to get Shulk to swing at Sephiroth because of how much space you threaten by existing. I don't agree with that at all because I feel like Seph's aggression is not the greatest. Partially because, like, Shulk's up B out of shield is really good against Sephiroth's aerials because they're all up B out of shieldable. I know, like, technically, like, forward air's not, I think. Like, it's technically, like, -9 if you have wing, which I guess is okay. I'll actually do this. So it's like -9 if you have wing, but you never get the actual -9. Because, like, that requires you to be frame perfect. So we can actually counterplay, like, forward air and back air and landing very well. We can up out of shield rising nair, or, like, rising nair out of shield very, very consistently as well. And then you kind of force, like, even forward tilt we can up out of shield, which is kind of, or forward tilt we can up out of shield, which is kind of crazy. So, like, you often force Sephiroth to play a little bit more around grab. And then, like, his grab is decent against Shulk, don't get me wrong, but it's still, like, Sephiroth's grab, right? It's nothing to write home about. So I feel like because Sephiroth's aggression is relatively lackluster, Shulk can often camp for arts pretty easily. And then, like, Speed Shulk does really well against Sephiroth. And then between, like, the Speed Shulk pressure, the Smash Kill pressure, the offstage pressure, the, like, Shield Monado to, this is not a site, this is a Unity program. I rewrote someone's program, to do this, so I made this. I made like 5 lines of code for this. So basically, you like, because his aggressive game isn't the greatest, you get a lot of arts. And then your arts are really good against him too. One thing that is annoying about Sephiroth is that his counter, like, is really good against Buster. But then, like, if you bait his counter, you can punish with forward smash, which is like 1 frame perfect. But like, it's pretty consistent because you kind of just drop your shield and you forward smash. You have a lot of time to react, and like forward smash kills him extremely early. So like, he doesn't even have that in terms of defense either. I feel like if he has wing, he does pretty decently against Shulk. He probably wins the matchup if he has wing. But then, because he dies so easily in wing, it's not as big of a deal as in other matchups. Yes, this is how confident I am that the matchup is accurate. So I'm pretty confident that Sephiroth is accurate. What else? Yeah, outside of that, like, it's just a minor advantage. Like this entire range, like, I would say, like, actual advantage is like up here. This is all like minor advantage. Like, this is minor advantage stuff. I don't think Sephiroth is even. But I wouldn't hate it if people put him in even. And I don't think Joker's even, but I wouldn't hate it if they put Joker in even. There was a third one. Greninja, Joker, Sephiroth. Right. So now we have Zelda. I played a lot against Meru, so I actually think this might be the final tier of confidence. I think, like, it's like right here. I don't think it's that horrible, because Zelda actually has good parry punishes. Like, Zelda's parry dash attack is pretty decent against Shulk, because Zelda's out of shield is good. She also mitigates some of, like, Shulk's pressure, which is very, very good as well. Her up tilt is a really good anti-air, which actually can contest her neutral air for some reason. And, like, Shulk is really bad against reversals, and Zelda has, like, some really good reversals. Let me see. Zelda is hella cheese. It's the former Leon. So, yeah, she plays super high stakes guesses. Like, you hit her shield, if she reads your jump afterwards, she's gonna forward air sweet spot you die at like 70. You know what I mean? So, like, it's very hard to be consistent against Zelda. Yeah, she actually does a little bit better than you would think, but it's still pretty bad. At the end of the day, a lot of the matchup is like Shulk camping for his arts, while Zelda tries to set up a good situation, but she cannot really because, like, Shulk is really good at disarming phantom setups with jump, as well as, like, speed pressure. But playing as Mary Zelda, I might even, like, tune it down just a little bit. It's actually not bad at all for Zelda. I would say it's like plus 1 Shulk. Yeah, Zelda just has too much kill power to lose harder than that, in my opinion. I think her disadvantage is pretty bad, which is fair enough. But then, like, Shulk's advantage state is so, like, preemptive that sometimes she kind of like breaks through. Yeah, I think Shulk still wins, and I think this matchup is really hard for Zelda if you don't know that matchup too well. But if you can do, like, for example, like, just being able to do the displaced phantom helps so much, and Mario can do that, like, super consistently. He also has a really good parry game. So overall, I actually think Zelda does pretty well. Partially because she has a good shield, partially because she has good reversals, and partially because her kill power is just through the roof. So, like, if I have Zelda cornered, I go to smash, and then I try one thing, and then I deactivate because I'm scared. I'm, like, scared out of my mind. Now, I think in this matchup, Zelda has punished a lot, but for not understanding Shulk either. There's no link to this. This is a program that I adjusted. Not that I wrote. I adjusted it. What are your opinions on Wolf? Wolf is a good one. I'm actually pretty confident about Wolf. I can do Brawler afterwards. So I think Wolf is just, like, the slightest bit winning for Shulk. It's like, it's as good as even. Honestly, in a matchup chart, I would put Wolf as even. But I think Shulk has just, like, a tiny edge. Mainly because, like, Shulk's pressure on... I can do PTA. Shulk's pressure on Wolf is actually kind of insane on the recovery. And I think Pika is also a good one. I think, like, if the Shulk... Like, if they both play, like, fundamentals and they actually, like, are of equal skill level... Shulk generally gets more out of reads than Wolf. And Wolf kind of suffers from the same thing as Sephiroth in that he's more of like a defensive character, which lets Shulk camp for Monados more often. But if the Wolf has a good advantage state and he knows how to hang on to like his small advantages, then I think it's like hard for Shulk to actually consistently camp for Monados. So like the actual like true neutral situations in this matchup are very far and few between, because of like Wolf's burst range, and general like tendency to play pressure heavy enough to prevent Shulk from camping. He also has auto cancel back air, which prevents Shulk from platform camping, which is like huge. But overall, like Shulk avoids his kill options very well because he doesn't have to like deal with the down smash mix up if he has jump. Backslash is really good against Wolf as well. The only thing Wolf can do about it, as far as I'm aware, is like up tilt. I've seen a Wolf forward smash it before, but it's not super consistent for as far as I know. And like if they set up for like that positioning, you can actually do a lot of other mixes with jump as well. So I actually think Wolf, it's basically even. I've never seen the preemptive up smash work. I've never seen it work. I've seen people try a lot though. Brawler. So I actually played against a few Mii Brawlers, surprisingly enough. So I have a decent idea of the matchup. Not a lot though. I would say I'm like, I'll put it like right here, something like that. Maybe a little bit better even. I'm not that confident on it. I'll actually pull it back a little bit. I'm not super confident about it, but I'm decently sure that actually. Okay. So I haven't played enough Mii Brawlers to be more confident than this. But I am decently confident that Shulk has a pretty winning matchup. I think the character is pretty simple, so I don't need a lot of experience to get a decent idea. But it definitely has a decent idea. I think Shulk definitely wins this matchup, but not that hard. I think Shulk actually is like it's like the perfect Mii Brawler kind of pick, in my opinion. Like Shield R does really well against Brawler. And if you know the cheese, you actually like you do very well against it. Yo, Eric, thank you for the follow. I'm sorry, I should put the stream alerts up here. There you go, Eric. Thank you. So there's a very cool like European Mii Brawler content creator, Gygel, I think his name is, and like he has a lot of videos on like stopping Mii Brawler cheese, which is super awesome. Is it a playlist? I think it's the Mii Brawler tech, something like that. But he has like videos on how to stop the cheese. And I feel like if you know the cheese, it actually stops working in a lot of cases. And I think even better for Shulk is that you have Shield Art to counteract the cheese. So this cheese might not even, like even if you get caught by it, you might not even die to it. It feels like a solid win. It feels like a solid win for Shulk for sure. I also think like one of the things about Shulk that is super underrated against characters like Mii Brawler is that Shulk can use the front hit of his Nair. So when Shulk's front hit Nair is enabled, he actually does like extremely well because in those situations, he gets to pressure with like the landing Nair, and he also gets to wall with the landing Nair, both in one, which is really good. Hikey's channel's missing so much stuff. I mean, maybe I played against some other Mii Brawlers, like for example Pelly, and overall it just feels like I don't see how Mii Brawler, I don't see in which areas Mii Brawler exceeds against Shulk, and a lot of the things that he exceeds at himself gets shut down, like for example like his combo game by Shield Art, stuff like that. Again, I'm not like super confident in the matchup, but like if I'm pretty sure it's in like this area. Or well, I mean more like vertically, right? I wouldn't say this is like +2 or whatever. In the matchup chart, I might actually like but it's close. If it's a +1, it's close to a +2 in my opinion. That's my opinion. Let's see, Brawler Oren asked for Pika. Pika I'm actually not super confident in. I played against Pika a decent amount, definitely more than Brawler. I think I would put him around here, and it actually I'm gonna put Pika on even 2. Yo, Broken, thank you for the follow, man. And Oren, thank you for the follow as well. So I think Pikachu, it's a very weird matchup to talk about. Oh, camera, thank you. So there's a lot going on in this matchup because both characters are pretty complex. Yo, Robbie with the raid. What's up, Robbie? Welcome. You guys are just in time. So I think Pikachu, struggles when he struggles in neutral at times. So something that I talked about a lot. You're not a sub, Eevee, are you? So something that that I talk about a lot in like my matchup against in my video about why Shulk versus Peach is even, in my opinion, is that like there's like the 3 ranges, right? So there's like, if Shulk is right here, there's like the close range, the mid range, and the long range. And the reason why I think Peach is like even is because like Peach wins, she wins here, she loses here, and she wins here. And in a lot of times, what's up, Robbie? And in a lot of times, like, it's hard for Shulk to actually keep her in this sweet spot. Because if Peach dashes back and you dash back as well, because you tried to prevent her from getting close, she gets the long range. And if Peach dashes forward and you dash forward to prevent her going to the long range, oh, you cannot see the long range. I'm sorry, guys. Let me redraw that. I'm sorry, it zoomed in. Let me actually do this smarter. There you go. So 3 ranges: close, mid, long. So like, if you want her to prevent her from getting close, you dash away. But then if she dashes away too, she's in the long range. If you want to prevent her from getting to the long range, you dash towards her. But then if she dashes towards you, you're in the close range. So it's kind of like a 50-50 in movement between like, do you let her get into the close range or do you let her get into the long range? Yo, S1 with the sub, thank you so much, S1. I appreciate that. Welcome to the club, young Eevee. Thank you, Robbie. Appreciate that. So like, it's hard to keep Peach in like that sweet spot mid range. And Pikachu is the same. Like, if Pikachu gets into the close range, he wins. If Pikachu gets into the long range, Pikachu wins as well. So it's hard to keep him in the mid range exactly, because that is where you win. So against Pikachu, it's a lot about like figuring out, okay, when is he gonna get into the close range? When is he gonna get into the long range and try to set up Thunder Jolts? And speed actually helps a lot there, because in speed you actually need to, you actually get the room to like react to a Thunder Jolt, dash up, and forward air Pikachu, hit the Thunder Jolt, hit Pikachu, or even a B. A B works better in some situations because it starts from below you, and hit both of them, and that's like super privileged. Outside of that, I would say Shulk is pretty good against Thunder Jolt pressure as well. Something that I haven't implemented yet myself is using art switches to kind of like mitigate Thunder Jolt pressure. I think that's pretty good. Overall though, Shulk can like use landing nair to hit the Thunder Jolt and wall out Pikachu. And again, kind of the similar to Greninja, Shulk has really good platform camping to like stall out his Monados. Pikachu sucks against let me turn it back to the zoomed in. Pikachu's really good at beating Shield Art, but not as good at beating Smash Art. So like, there's kind of like a trade-off there, but overall though, when Pikachu gets in, he does very well. Buster is really good against Pikachu because you don't knock Pikachu far enough for Pikachu to be able to set up a quick attack, and that's huge. So if you get like a hidden Buster, you can actually like push Pikachu very far, and oftentimes in like 1 or 2 interactions, they're already at smash kill % because Pikachu is so light. And then when Pikachu recovers, he's actually like, they're actually pretty weak. They're actually pretty weak to Shulk's forward air because it's huge. Welcome, Kite. Welcome. Pikachu's pretty weak to Shulk's forward air because it's so huge. So recovery can be rough as well as jump, being able to like chase Pikachu better than a lot of characters can. That said, I feel like Pikachu's offstage pressure is really good against Shulk as well. So Shulk really needs to camp for his Monados, like jump. And like, I think it all comes down to, and that's like the part where I'm not confident yet, is like, what is better? Pikachu pressure, is it good enough to like beat Shulk when he's camping for his Monados? If yes, then Pikachu probably wins. If no, then it's probably even. Yeah, and Shulk can also parry quick attack and oftentimes dash attack it. Even if he like if he parries quick attack too, he can almost always dash attack it. So you just need to stand at a range where like you're outside of range of his quick attack 1. And then like Shulk's corner game is really good because like active nairs, like you said, prevent him from quick attacking 2. So you wall Pikachu out very well. Pikachu also mainly kills with like dash attack / up throw mix-ups if it's not like an offstage gimp. And Shulk is pretty good against that, I would say. I think he's really good at denying Pikachu from getting into that range. But yeah, if anyone wins, it's probably Pikachu. But from what I've seen so far, it looks even to me. And a lot of it comes down to, does Pikachu find an early gimp? So that's my opinion. I think Frozen asked for Pokemon Trainer. Frozen, are you playing Pokemon Trainers all of a sudden? What happened to you, man? What happened to you? Where's PT? I'm probably looking. Yeah, there he is. I'm pretty confident in PT. I would say about as confident as Joker, and I think we actually. I need to move this character up. I think we beat Pokemon Trainer decently solidly. Squirtle does the best out of the 3. I actually think Squirtle is close to evenish. I would say Shulk still has like a slight edge, but it's close to even. However, we have Smash, and Smash forces Squirtle to switch, and then Ivysaur does not have a good time against Shulk, and Charizard does not have a good time against Shulk either. Charizard actually does pretty decently in my opinion, but like it's still Charizard neutral. It's not going to be the greatest. Another thing is that because like we actually beat Squirtle's B pretty easily with our like forward air from above, down air from above, or up B from below. So oftentimes, like if you get Squirtle off stage, you kind of play like the mix up for the switch, and if you do get it right, then Ivysaur kind of dies. Yo, Chris, have a good rest, dude. See you next time. Yep, they are slight wins by this chart. So I think PT, even Ivysaur, one thing that I was really surprised about, Ivysaur can usually recover very well against every character, but Jumpmonado Shulk actually chases so far. Like, if like this is like the stage, and like this is the blast zone, a lot of Ivysaurs do like this, right? Where they kind of like go down. But because Jump can reach all the way out here, and easily make it back, you can actually fuck with this type of recovery so hard. It's actually very risky for Ivysaur to recover against Jump Shulk. So like Shulk does really well against all 3 of them. I think it's still not better than +1 because of like how strong the characters are. Because like Ivy can just kill you with down air, up air. Charizard has like like back air, neutral air, tech chase setups. Even Squirtle has like forward tilt locks that can really fuck you up. Even like they don't even need to jab lock you. They can like forward tilt you, read your rule, and like smash you for it, which can be really bad because down tilt is really good at 2-framing. But overall, like I think Shulk is the exact character that Pokemon Trainer hates to play against. They have a disjoint to wall out Squirtle. They have rush down to beat Ivysaur, and then like they have a decent, like a good enough neutral to kind of like mitigate Charizard, and then good offstage pressure as well, which I think is one of Pokemon Trainer's main weaknesses. So that's what I think about Pokemon Trainer. It's like a solid +1 for Shulk. Who should I do next, guys? Give me some suggestions. Lucas, Young Link, Hero. Okay, we'll do those in that sequence. So Lucas, I'm actually not super confident about. I played against Lucas like once, but I had a pretty good feel for the matchup. It feels like it's like right about here. I think Lucas solidly loses to Shulk. A little bit harder than Pokemon Trainer. I think Lucas does fine until he gets cornered. If Lucas gets cornered, he loses. Like, there's almost no way for Lucas to reliably get out of the corner partially because of like how laggy PK Fire is. So like against Lucas, what I mainly do is I just kind of like get Lucas in the corner, keep him in the corner for the entire stock, and then if he gets out, I camp him. I wait for like all my Monado arts, and then I put him back into the corner. Kind of similar to Brawler, I think like Lucas gets shut down by Shield Monado very badly. And I feel like a lot of the things that Lucas normally likes to do are a lot worse against Shulk. So if we look at like his forward tilt, has like this -10 hitbox. I'm pretty sure it's at the base. Yeah, so if he does a forward tilt when he's too close by, you can actually like up B out of shield sometimes, which has happened to me a few times. His dash attack is actually pretty punishable, which is not always the case. Same for his down smash and forward smash, which is not always the case. His neutral air is -10, almost exactly. I don't often see Lucas get like the exact landing hits into landing lag immediately, so it's almost never -9. So like we can often up B out of shield the neutral air as well, which is pretty big too. And like things like Zair don't really work because of how much we like jump. So Lucas is normally amazing. Horizontal control isn't amazing. Oh, I'm sorry if you guys couldn't see ultimate frame data very well. Just believe me on the frame data. So overall, like Lucas can kind of struggle against Shulk because like Lucas is a defensive character and Shulk does really well against defensive characters in my opinion. Young Link. Now I'm not as sure on Young Link. I think it's around Pikachu surety. I would put it around here. I think we do really well against Young Link, not gonna lie. Like, the shield nerfs actually did a lot for Young Link. That's facts. Like, holy shit, Young Link kind of destroys shield art now. But the fact of the matter is we still shield art out of his kill confirms. So even though he gets to pressure us afterwards, it's not a good look. It's literally unwinnable. Exactly, Semi. One thing that I learned about the matchup that is kind of grimy is that, so when Shulk back throws you, you turn your back towards Shulk, right? So, like, for example, if this is a stage, and he, like, grabs you, and, like, you're sent this way, you're now facing this direction. What that means for Young Link is that he can no longer Zair in this situation. So if we're at, like, 50%, and we go into Smash, and we back throw him at the ledge, Young Link basically dies. It's not a good look for him. Offstage is really rough for Young Link. I think Young Link's projectile wall is actually pretty underrated against Shulk because Shulk has a lot of commissions. Commissions for what, Youngie? Oh, commissions. Oh, I mean, if you donate the price, you know, I'll put in the work for you, man. I can draw you a beautiful Bowser Jr. when we get to the character. But yeah, like, the projectile wall is pretty underrated against Shulk in my opinion. Shulk has pretty bad startup, so it's very easy for, especially for fire arrows, to kind of like poke through Shulk walls. But then like, I think Young Link also kind of suffers from getting platform camped. Doesn't have the greatest pressure to do with that. He does have some mix-ups, but they're pretty committal, which can leave him open to counterattacks. If you like, there's a difference between like platform camping and standing there, and like what Shulk does, where he just kind of like pokes his neutral air through the platform, or pokes his forward air through the platform, or pokes his down air through the platform. Especially with Monado, like a dial cancel can be very safe. And like against that active type of like platform camping, it's very hard for Young Link to get through it. We can actually like and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like at certain ranges we can up B out a shield versus a boomerang on reaction. I might be wrong, but I feel like I've gotten that a few times. Yeah, it's similar to how you platform camp versus Inkling. I feel like I've gotten that a few times, and it almost feels like consistent. And then like his rising aerials can all be like up B out of shield. I think his down tilt tipper can be up B out of shield as well, but it's pretty hard to do, honestly. I don't like going for it, but I know it's possible. Let me show you guys the actual screen. There you go. Down tilt is CISO's -10 at the tip, I'm pretty sure. Which is super weird. Yeah, I think it's -10 at the tip. So if he hits you with the tip, you can actually AB him. But if your space is closer, you cannot AB him, which is pretty weird dynamic, but it makes sense in the context of the move. So yeah, like overall, just a pretty hard matchup for Young Link. Though it's not unwinnable in a matchup chart. Like it's either like a hard +1 or like a super mild +2. But I would probably it's on the border of +1 or +2. Yeah, it's hard to see, Semi. I definitely agree. There are times where I'm like, oh, that's definitely the tip. I'm up being that shit. And there's times where I'm like, I don't even know. I'm just gonna sit and shield. But yeah, because Young Link pressures a lot with like rising aerials, he can actually kind of struggle to pressure Shulk. And then like there's a kill differential. The one thing is that like Young Link has like crazy momentum. See, the thing is, YYZ, I don't want to put it much higher than this, because I don't know enough about the character. As you can see, I'm not very confident in the matchup. Like, I can see it... I cannot see it go lower than this. That is why I put it this low. It's because this is like basically the lower edge of where I would see the matchup. I can see Lucas being all the way up here. But like if I'm not confident, I'm gonna put it as low, basically as low as it goes. Unless it's, yeah, it kind of depends on my experience. But for Lucas, it can definitely be worse than this. If Lucas is there, he's a top 15 to 20 character. I don't know what that means. No, I definitely think Young Link can definitely win the matchup. I wouldn't be surprised if a Young Link beats me. I definitely wouldn't be surprised if... What's up, Streaks, by the way? Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if a Young Link beats me. Because at the end of the day, like... This placing is when Shulk plays on point. If Shulk is just a little bit off his game, you can actually get, like, rushed down by Young Link. And it becomes very hard to win. You need to be very on point and very sharp in, like, in your reactions. Which can be very hard because Young Link can press a lot of buttons. And if you're not like disciplined, he actually just like fire arrows you to death. Fire arrow is so good in this matchup. It's not okay. So normally against like projectiles, what Shulk does is like if they're standing over here, Shulk kind of like stands all the way over here and goes into speed and then does like an advancing short hop back air to kind of like poke with the tipper of the back air. But that doesn't work against Young Link because Young Link's arrow goes under the back air and then hits him up. So what Shulk needs to do to commit is to jump in further, so from like a closer distance, and get like a landing nair or forward air, and like that's a lot more committal. Yeah, I definitely think Shulk beats Joker. I see no way that Joker wins, personally. Yeah, I can see that, Semi. I definitely feel like I think almost every character, unless like the severely handicapped characters, almost every character has like a fighting chance against Shulk because his weaknesses are so fundamental to the game. All right, we can put Ganondorf in the magical like handicap tier. Like his fundamentals are so like a weakness of frame data. Like even Ganondorf can abuse that, and I put him up here. Like I'm not super confident about the Ganondorf matchup actually, but like I'm pretty sure we just kind of like edge guard him. You know what I mean? It's not definitely a win. It's pretty close to even in my opinion. I think Joker is pretty close to even. I wouldn't hate people putting it in even, but I don't see it as losing, personally. What was the next suggestion? Yeah, it's -1 at best, or at worst for Joker. Hero. I actually have a decent amount of hero experience, surprise, surprise. You guys are calling all the characters that I'm pretty confident in. This is only getting worse and worse. So, I'll put my hero experience around here. Still a little bit confident. I think it's, right around here. Yep, about the same as Pokemon Trainer. The character I put bottom most. I already put down the character I put. No wait, that's a spoiler. That's a spoiler. No, I'm just kidding. So I think Hero. Hero has a lot of good stuff against Shulk, but also a lot of bad stuff against Shulk. It's a very swingy matchup. I think how should I word this? So Hero can contest our mid range because of his side B. But you can actually up B. I'm pretty sure you can up B out of shield the short side B. Let's actually check it out just to be sure. Turn off the hitboxes. Yeah, so the short side B is -12, but it travels a little bit. I think you can up B it out of shield. I'm pretty sure I've up B it out of shield before. So it's -12, 11, 10. So if you're at this distance, you can up B it out of shield, which I'm pretty sure is like the range limit for up B anyway. If he hits you with like the final 2 frames, then you cannot up B it out of shield. But from this range, up B probably wouldn't connect anyway. So like we can mess with like the short zap a lot of the times. The long zapple not so much. So the long zapple is a lot harder. However, because of our mobility, we kind of we can kind of go over it in a lot of situations. And I feel like Hero struggles to anti-air at times. He definitely has the tools to compete with us though. But speed, I think speed kind of like. The farther hits are less safe than -12. Oh, okay. That's good to know. In that case, I've been right to like up B it out of shield. Thank you, Wii Yun. I appreciate that. Yeah, I feel like speed Shulk kind of shuts down Hero. And like he actually like Shulk he deals with hero buffs very well too, because of shield. So if hero has like oomph and psych up, you can actually shield and like time a lot of it out, jump and time a lot of it out. It's hard for hero to get in because it doesn't have burst range. Burst range is really good to have against Shulk. You can see like the good burst range characters are like close to even, right? Because burst range is such a strong tool against Shulk. I feel like yeah, back air just walls hero out. He doesn't have the mobility to go over back air, which a lot of characters can do. He can contest the range, but it's kind of like iffy because side B needs to be charged to the second level, and then the first level is not the greatest. Buster shits on his disadvantage. Here, like, if hero doesn't get zoom, Shulk can kind of shit on him off stage, which doesn't happen often if he primes zoom. But even in those scenarios, if you get like a landing forward air, as Shulk, you can actually go into jump and like hit the hero before he can zoom out, which is really good. And even if he does zoom back, you can there's a good situation, you're in a good spot, and then if you hit him off stage again, he actually, I'm pretty sure he cannot get zoom again, right? So then he's actually in a really bad spot. And in a lot of situations, we actually like don't even hit him into the blast zone, which means that he doesn't have the increased chance of zoom. And then we go into smash, and then he can actually die without ever having been into the bubble where he has an increased chance to hit zoom. Overall, it's a pretty good matchup for Shulk. But Hero is one of the few characters who plays the same ranges as Shulk, so it's like it's a pretty weird matchup in my opinion. Because like he's in the same area as we want to be, which is weird. Let's see what else. Shulk is one of his worst matchups. If that's the worst it gets, then everything else should be a lot easier. It's a little bit Inui logic, but in a game with 80 plus characters, it tends to be that way. Matchup charts are clustered there. I mean, I don't mind moving Lucas up. It's like, I'm not that confident. It's like a range, right? It's like a range of like how bad it is. I can see it being a lot. I can see it being worse, but not like as bad as like these characters for sure. Because at the end of the day, Lucas still 2 frames you and you die. You know what I mean? Like, Lucas will always have that. Like, Lucas can hit me with a combo start if I don't have shield, then, like, that's pretty rough. Hang on, guys. Let me... Okay, cool. What was the next question? People asked about Roy. So, Roy is an interesting one. I don't have that much confidence against Roy because, like, I play against Chrom way more. But I feel like it's like a minor advantage. I feel like I'm more confident in Roy than Pikachu. It should be around here. I actually think so Reno is gonna hate me for this. But I think Shulk beats Roy. I think Roy's sweet spots are too short range to really contest with Shulk in a lot of situations. Which is a pretty bad thing for Roy. Overall though, the neutral is pretty even. It helps a lot that Shulk can shield our jab back air as well as side B, which really limits Roy's jank factor. And what I think is very important in this matchup is that, like, I actually think in a lot of situations it's easier to gimp Roy than it is to gimp Chrom. Actually, scratch that. Since the ledge slip, it's easier to gimp Chrom. But Roy's up B is so easy to beat for Shulk. It's crazy how bad that up B is against Shulk, in my opinion. I definitely think this matchup is very good for well, not very good. I think it's like, I don't know if I would put it in +1. I think I would put Sephiroth in +1. Maybe Joker too. I don't know about Roy. Roy's kind of on the edge. Like this line above like the middle line is like between even and +1. You know what I mean? I think if anyone wins, it's definitely Shulk. But I can see even. I don't mind it. I don't mind if people put Roy in even. It really is almost even. I don't mind if people put Roy in even, but I personally would think it's a little bit favored for Shulk. Let's see. Fighting hero is super weird. I agree. You can box him out more than Chrom in the air. Not necessarily. Well, kind of, yes. It's a little bit less risky, but at the end of the day, you're dealing with the same hitboxes. There's just a little bit less reward, you know what I mean? Let's see. Lucario. I actually played against Jeddah the other day, and that matchup was pretty bad. So I'm not super confident in Lucario. I'll definitely put it like on this end of the scale. But it definitely looks like a rough matchup for Lucario. Actually, I actually think Lucario is a pretty good character. I put Lucario in high tier, which is like super surprising to everyone in the world. But I think the character is pretty decent. I think Aura Sphere is a really good neutral tool. But like Lucario dies too hard to Smash Monado. And he gets outranged too much to do well at the end of the day. I don't think he does good versus Shulk at all. I also, like, one of the things that is kind of dumb about Lucario is that he doesn't have landing lag. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen... The camera is unfocused. It should be refocused. It sometimes unfocuses because I move around. Have you guys ever seen landing lag on neutral air? That's 5 frames. Like, are you kidding me? 5 frames right here. Let me zoom in. That is 1 frame more. That is 1 frame more than a hard landing. That is insane. Actually insane. But like a lot of characters, like Buster, I do have dark mode on like my Chrom. I never use dark mode on Ultimate Frame Data. Lucario, Nair is mean. It definitely is mean. He can jump off stage, dare a few times, and Smash Starter gone. Nah, bro. If you go off stage, I'm gonna go into jump. I'm gonna chase you. That's bad news for you, bro. I can even go to jump, switch this like. I can even go to jump, and then like down air, use stuff like that. There's a lot that Shulk can do. Lucario does not go even with Shulk. Let's see. So, I think Lucario does have the frame data to box out Shulk, but everyone can box out Shulk, so it's not that bad. But, like, overall, Lucario struggles to get in. He needs to get high percents to outcamp Shulk, but he doesn't always get to high percents because of Smash Monado. Ledge Slip forward air is really good against Lucario's up B, and it kind of forces him to go on stage, which then can allow Shulk to get like early kills by reading the on-stage up B. Again, I'm not super certain about the placing. I've only played Jeddah in 1 session on Wi-Fi, but from what I've seen, it's not the greatest. I think this is one of those matchups I would put as like a hard +1. Let me actually turn on the zoomed in. I'll put it at like a hard +1, maybe a +2. But if it's +2, it's like a mild +2. I think Lucario, like, if he does get enabled, Shulk struggles a lot with him, but, like, that's every character. I think altogether, like, Shulk does a lot better against high aura Lucario, because he can kind of go into, like, shield and try to play, like, a shield neutral. And Lucario is too slow to, like, outcamp shield neutral at all times, in my opinion. I might be wrong on that. Like I said, I don't have a lot of experience. And that can, like, force Lucario into unfavorable positions, which can then lead into a kill. Yoni, so listen, when I have Smash and you jump away, you put yourself in a horrible situation. And that's true as well, Drakis. Like, if he does, like, Aura Sphere confirms, you can shield Monado out. There's a lot of things that Shulk can do to kind of, like, avoid a lot of Lucario's jank. It's harder to land a back air on Shulk as well, because Shulk has, like, lasting, long-range hitboxes. Same goes for forward smash. It's harder to, like, forward smash and outrange Shulk. Like, Shulk can hit you out of the startup a lot, which I've seen myself. Lucario doesn't have the greatest out of shield either, so like I'm pretty sure I'll turn on dark mode for you, Ignore. I have it turned on like by Chrom, which I normally use. So I guess it's light mode again. I think his best out of shield is like down air, which you won't get against Shulk, and then there's forward air, which is 10 frames, which is not bad, but it's not great either. I would know my main out of shield option is frame 10. So, yeah, I overall, not the greatest matchup in my opinion. Let's see, Villager. I know nothing about Villager. So Villager is one of my least confident matchups. I played against, like, 1 Villager for, like, 1 game. So, like, this is about my evaluation based on that game. What I saw is that, like, speed rushes down Villager very well. And, like, jump and smash Gimp Villager pretty well. But overall, it like I don't know what Villager does in the matchup, and I don't really. You gotta play my quick play Villager, Sammy. I'm not sure if I'm ready for that, bro. Yeah, overall, I don't really know how this matchup goes. He's a bit harder than Isabelle. I mean, that's fair enough. This is like my +1 range, which is like my safe placement. But like, don't ask me about the villager matchup. I really don't know enough about villager. Yeah, honestly, I think like one thing that was really annoying about the matchup is that like speed rushes him down well, but only from platforms, because if you do it like horizontally, like the forward air walling kind of shuts down speed. But if you're on a platform, like that situation is so good. So like if it's like we have like Pokemon Stadium or Small Battlefield, and Shulk is right here and Villager is right here, like Shulk gets to like aggress so easily in speed from this position, which is very hard for a Villager to deal with, in my opinion. And if he starts to do like full hops to like preemptively beat that, you can actually like drop through and like just dash in and fuck him up real bad as a reaction. So it looked pretty bad, but like I don't actually know how bad it is. Slingshots are like, yeah, so like one of the things is like slingshots are harder to deal with for Shulk because Shulk cannot really hit them away easily. Yeah, Villager generally started with swords. I can believe that. Is this advantage Stux versus Shulk? I think his down air is pretty good versus Shulk because the down air can beat our up tilt. I actually had that happen before. But he's still like floaty. So overall, it's not great. Yeah, Mewtwo was the next one on the list. Shulk has big sword, he wins. Yeah, that's about all I know about the matchup. That's why I put him in like not confident. Mewtwo. I'm not super confident against Mewtwo either. I played against 2 Mewtwo's. Both of them I played like a set. And it actually didn't feel too winning for Shulk. Well, it's hard to say. So like the neutral actually feels pretty bad. But then like you kill him at 50. But like, I'm gonna put him here, which is, I think this might be a little bit controversial. Acting like Shulk loses a matchup, please, bro, that's cringe. So yeah, Mewtwo, I'm not super confident in Mewtwo, but from what I've played, it feels like it's just a slight edge. Actually, like it's actually pretty even. Mewtwo has the range on the ground to deal with Shulk. So if you look at Mewtwo's tilts, like his forward tilt and down tilt have like insane range, which is really good against Shulk. Like this, like having that sort of ground range, similar to like Ridley, really good against Shulk because Shulk doesn't really have great ground game. And then like Rising Fair actually controls Shulk in the air so well. It's actually crazy how good this tool is against Shulk in the air. And a forward tilt is just a slap, bro. And then let's see what else. I think Shadow Ball is really good against Shulk because if Shulk wants to camp for Monados, he's gonna lose out. Because like Mewtwo will have Shadow Ball. Disable can actually be really good because it's like super active. And like I don't know if you guys knew this, but I didn't know this until I died because a Mewtwo down bead through my landing forward air, stunned me, and killed me at like 60. I hate it. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But it happens. One thing that is weird about this matchup, yeah, so upside, I think is forward air out of shield, frame 10. Again, it's not the fastest, but because it's, you know, it can actually do very well against, at controlling the air. Yeah, I'll get to them, Orin. Imagine not being able to attack and stun. I'm not Rosalina, dude. Yeah, you should know about this invincibility, or else you're gonna die to it. His teleport is really good against Shulk. It ignores the 2-frame if you do it high enough, which is always really good against Shulk. What else? Yeah, I mean, he just has the right tool set to fuck with Shulk. He's good at intercepting Shulk in the air. He's good at contesting Shulk on the ground. He has a really good Shadow Ball. He's good at recovering to negate some of Shulk's advantage state. But then, like, if you have Mewtwo in the corner and you forward air him at 50, he dies in Smash. So that's kind of like, that's the only reason why I think Shulk might win. But if this matchup is even, I will not be surprised at all. I will not be surprised at all. Saint Hentai asked me to do Banjo. Oh, Banjo's DLC. He's at the bottom. Banjo, where are you? There you are. Banjo. I played against all babies, like 2 first to 7s or first to 5s, something like that. actually won a lot more than I thought because All Babies has a lot of experience against Shulk. So I'll put the character like right here. So I actually think this is pretty close to even. I think Shulk probably wins, but I'm not confident enough to say that. What can I say? Shulk more like broken. Yeah, just like the follower 35 minutes ago. So Banjo, like, the reason Banjo actually does decent in this matchup is because Wonder Wing shits on Shulk's entire character design. So Shulk likes to do things preemptively. Oh, right, here's the Wonder Wing. It's gonna fuck you up. The grenade, if you swing into it, it fucks you up. There's a lot of things that Shulk has, though, like offstage pressure, like backslash as a punish on Wonder Wing, which is really good. Backslash as a punish for Banjo pooping out the grenade, which is also low-key pretty good. We can actually shield art out of up smash, which is pretty big. So like if he down throws us, we mash out quickly, or we don't mash out at all. We let ourselves get up smashed, and then we shield art out of the up smash. Really good as well. But yeah, I think speed is pretty good as Banjo too. But Banjo also kind of gets camped on the platform. But Banjo is a lot better at beating the camping because he can grab a grenade and then pressurize with the grenade on the platform. But it's still, like, it's not amazing. It helps, though. Banjo, yeah, his 2-framing is really good against Shulk. And then, like, Shulk cannot really backslash because of Wonder Wing. So Banjo actually does pretty decently. I think it's pretty close to even. Snake. Shadow Wolves asks for Snake. Alright, guys. Banjo Grenade is Snake, but a bear? kind of. Snake is even. All the Shulks hate me. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, I hate me. No, I'm just kidding. Snake is even in my opinion. Yo, Yessa with the 13 months. Thank you so much, dude. 13 months. That's crazy. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Hope you had a good time at Bart's place today. Okay, so Snake is the weirdest matchup in the world. Always thought he was even. Yeah, I can see that. So Snake is weird because Snake, how do I put this? Basically, it's the following, right? Shulk camps for his Monados, but then when he does have his Monados, he needs to rush Snake the fuck down, because if he doesn't, then the game is gonna go to time, and if it goes to time, Snake wins because Snake deals more damage than Shulk. So you wanna stall the timer for Monados, but you don't want to stall the timer for a timeout. So it's a very fine balance in that regard. We can actually, like, we're pretty good at counter camping Snake because we get our Monados back. And Shulk with 5 Monados beats Snake. Shulk with 4 Monados loses to Snake. If you have 4 Monados, then you lose to Snake. But if you have 5, then you win. I understand why Snakes think it's very good, because it's a very, very hard matchup to play for Shulk. Shulk has to play extremely differently as opposed to how he normally does. It's literally the most unique matchup for Shulk, in my opinion. And it's also the most in-depth matchup. So it's a lot of learning. You need to learn a lot of aspects to play the matchup correctly. You can grab the grenades and throw them back. And then if he starts to cook them, you can pressure him for cooking them. And then if he starts to throw grenades and use them as a mix-up, you can beat the mix-ups. Because of speed, we have better burst range and we can pressure him. Because of shield, we can juggle him with his grenades at low percents. Because of buster, we can actually deal a lot of damage to him as well. And then with smash, we can sometimes kill him earlier. If we're at higher percents, like say 70, or he said like 70, we're at like 160, which happens a lot in the matchup because we play so safely. We can actually go on his shield and pressure him in shield, and then from there, like if we do get a hit, we can convert it into like good advantage because our jump can cover his offstage very well. If you don't steal your forward air can break out of his cipher, and that is huge. So that's like a huge thing for Shulk. Shulk doesn't ever want to use forward air in his matchup because he doesn't want to steal it. I think it needs to be still twice and then it doesn't break anymore. So you can only use it once, and then you need to basically hold on to it. We are very good at like trying to get an interaction, and then if it doesn't work out, just running away and going back to camping. And then if it doesn't work out, we wait for our Monados, then we go back in. That's basically what you do. The hardest thing about this matchup is that if you make one mistake in Buster, you can lose the entire game. Like if you're in Buster and you like trade with a grenade and then trade with another grenade, that could actually be the entire game lost, because if he gets a lead, you kind of lose. Also, if you're in Buster and you try to get a grab and he spot dodges it and he gets forward tilt 1-2, that can be enough, you lose. If you get pushed off stage and you don't have jump, you can lose right there. There's a lot of lose conditions for Shulk, but if you play around them well, then you win. Then it's even, I should say. I actually feel like it's winning sometimes. If you avoid all of his bullshit, you win. But if you get hit by one of the bullshit, it's kind of even. And if you get hit by two of the bullshit, you lose. That's kind of how I feel like the matchup goes, generally. So something like bullshit could literally be he reaches your jump, he dashes up and up tilts you, and you die at 90. If that happens, you lose. Or, well, it's more close to even. Like, you have to make a play to kind of, like, even it back up. But you can make a lot of plays against Snake. An important thing, for example, that a lot of Shulks don't do is backslash his B-reverse grenades. If you get a backslash on this B-reverse grenade, he can die at 60. It's crazy. Let's see. What is the next suggestion? Alright, guys, tell me, who should I do next? Oh, Gijs told me Samus, Diddy, Bowser Jr. Okay, we'll do Samus, Diddy, Bowser Jr. So Samus. I'm not super confident on Samus. I actually played a little bit with Quick a few times. We'll do the other ones that you guys are mentioning after these three. So I played a little bit with Quick. I played a little bit with Ramboss. But I feel like against Ramboss, I mostly just play on like my player skill less than the character. It feels like a slight win for Shulk. I know True Force has his even, but I always feel like I have a slight advantage at all times. Because of how well we can exploit Samus' offstage. And like I trust True Force when he says it's even, and like when True Force puts it at even, I don't disagree. But in my personal experience, which is a little bit less than I would like it to be, I might have to push a few of these over. Push this character over. Right, because I'm not super confident in Samus. Well, I'm like medium confident. I feel like I have an opinion, but I wouldn't consider, like, if it's anywhere in this range, like, I wouldn't mind. I don't get how Samus is supposed to do her air-to-air in this matchup. Yeah, so you play more grounded and you try to capitalize on Shulk's landings. And you, like, if you parry well, it helps a lot. Samus' ground game is actually pretty good against Shulk, in my opinion, because her grab is so long range, which can contest Shulk's range. Her charge shot really does well against Shulk. Shulk doesn't really have an approach that's good against Samus. Though, like, man, I'm a little bit more confident than this, I would say. I'll put it around here. I think, yeah, I don't know. It's around like this area. It's like a slide win. It's like a slide win for Shulk. Yeah, I feel like Samus' disadvantage is like pretty poor against Shulk. Ledge slip is really good against Samus because her up B goes like straight up, which means that if you're on the ledge and you do like a ledge slip down air, you basically like hit her exactly where she wants to be. Her bomb stalling doesn't work because of jump. However, her bomb ledge traps are really good against Shulk, and Shulk needs to like jump Monado around them, or else he just loses. It's not a sight. I took a program and I downloaded it and I adjusted the programming to include some new characters. Yeah, I'm wondering too, Dilano. I'm wondering too. I feel like her offstage is pretty vulnerable. I feel like her disadvantage is pretty okay. I feel like neutral air is decent against her because like her bomb stalling is really good at like making it ambiguous where she's gonna land. But then like neutral air covers so much real estate that it's hard for her to get around. But then like bomb ledge trapping is really good against Shulk, and Shulk kind of needs to stall like camp for jump. But if he camps for jump, you're also giving Samus charge shot, and that's like a matchup, or that's like a trade-off that I don't know I don't know if it's worth it for Shulk. Like, getting jump back for giving her a charge shot, I don't know if it's worth it. I think, at this point, I think it is. But I think that trade-off is going to be the reason why it's even or losing. Or even or winning. If the trade-off is worth it, I think Shulk wins. If the trade-off is not worth it, I think Shulk loses. However, quick and true forward will tell you that it's even. And, like, if they say that, then I will 100% tell you to trust their opinion over mine. 100%. At the same time, I also know, like, when you play against the same player a lot, there's a lot of, like, player versus player specific things that go on. And like, that can also change your perspective of the matchup. So the more you play against the same player, the more you, how do I put this? The more you play against the same player, the more even the matches get, because it starts to become more player versus player and less matchup dependent, in my opinion. Unless the matchup is really bad, in which case it only gets worse and worse. Let's see. So we had Samus, Diddy, and Bowser Jr. So Diddy, I'm not confident in at all. I have, like, about as much Mewtwo experience as I have Diddy experience. Maybe a little bit less. But it feels like a slight win for Shulk. I think the slight win for Shulk in this situation is that Buster does really well against Diddy. Like, Buster Nair does not get punished by Banana. And overall, like, Speed does really well at pressuring Diddy as well. I've not played Manda, but I don't want to play against Diddy on Wi-Fi. I don't want to. The character is broken on Wi-Fi because on Wi-Fi you're never going to be precise enough to avoid a banana out of shield. But if he does go for a banana forward smash or banana up smash, we can shield art out of it, which is huge. What else is there? I think we do decently well against his offstage. It's not as good as I would like it to be, but it's still pretty good. He's pretty bad at pressuring platforms, which is good for Shulk, which means we can play very slow. But like, the only thing that gets me scared is that, like, if Shulk overcommits once, Diddy can kind of like run over him because of Diddy frame data. But then again, like, if Shulk plays correctly, it feels like that should be possible. That said, there's a reason he's so far to the left. I'm not very confident in the matchup. But yeah, I know his down tilt is like safe, but he cannot do 2 down tilts. That's a pretty big part of the matchup. Because most of the safe down tilters can do like down tilt jab, stuff like that. Diddy cannot do that. His dash attack is -14, which means that we can punish it even if it crosses up, which is pretty important. His forward air we can punish with up B, which is pretty important as well. His neutral air is really hard for us to deal with. But we generally outrange a lot of the things he wants to do. -13 landing? What does that mean? Why is this a different notation than normal? What the fuck? That's so weird. Yeah, his monkey flip kick attack can be very hard because it can be super safe on shield if he does it well. And yeah, like, one thing that we do have is we just outrange. So if we do like even if we do an unsafe aerial, if we do it at like the tipper range, his banana has such slow airspeed that we actually don't get punished for doing that. So that's huge. So if we properly treat the character as like 2 separate modes, so I treat Diddy as a stance character. And the way I look at it is like he has the banana and hand stance and a no banana stance. And if you adjust your play to the stance, you actually do very well against Diddy, in my opinion. Or, well, very well. That is the key to doing well in the matchup. Let's put it that way. And yeah, like, Shadow Wolves, I can see that. I'm not confident enough to call it... I'm not confident enough to call it winning for us because I know Diddy does generally like really well against sword characters. And like, I know Angel Drop is like pretty good against Shulk as well. But I feel like if we play patiently and if we play around like the banana well, we actually do fine. I can see it being like anywhere from like up here to like even in like this range. But for now, to me it feels like more of an evenish matchup. But in a lot of situations, I still feel like he struggles. Like, for example, killing, like even getting combo started because of Shield Monado. Shield Monado is really good against Diddy, but Diddy is broken. You're right, but Wi-Fi Diddy is even more broken. Bowser Jr., you guys are going to be mad at me. Where is he? There he is. I'm pretty confident against Bowser Jr. I'm gonna put him like right here. Bowser Jr. He does pretty well against Shulk. Oh no. He's a little bit better. I'll put him here. So Bowser Jr. does pretty well against Shulk. He might actually be a little bit more even than this, actually. I can see him being like the same level as Joker. Actually, I might put him right here. Yep. I think Bowser Jr.'s normals are so hard to deal with for Shulk. Like, honestly, I'm gonna show you guys. And like, you guys may say I'm biased because I play with like Eves, but like I've had a few grind sessions with Eve now, and like this character does well against us. But the more I play, the better it feels. But I'll get into that later. So the main thing about this matchup is that like his ground moves actually kind of suck against Shulk. So like his forward tilt can be upbeat easily, his up tilt can be upbeat easily, his down tilt can be upbeat easily, which not a lot of characters can punish this move. His dash attack we can punish, but we cannot up smash it. We're one frame off of being able to up smash it, which is a shame, but that's okay. We can even punish the forward smash, which is rare too. But then like his aerials are really good against us. His neutral air is safe. His up air on landing is very safe. We cannot jump in on him because he can up air on reaction, and his forward air occupies the exact space that we want to be. Let me turn on a light here. His forward air is exactly what Shulk hates to see, which I hate to talk about. So forward air broken. Let me turn it down a little bit. There you go. So forward air really good against Shulk. Up air really good against Shulk. And then like, if we wait for our Monados, he actually gets to grab a Mecha Koopa, which even though it's 67 frames, we're too slow to like punish it. In a lot of scenarios, and then like he gets it, and then he has item neutral, and item neutral is really good against Shulk. His grab is still pretty decent against us, even though it's like a shitty grab. His throws are decent against us. Let's put it that way. His down throw takes away a decent amount of shield art. His forward throw kills, which is really good against Shulk because that means that we cannot live forever with shield art. His back throw can kill as well. Let's see, what else? We cannot really gimp his up B very well. But here's what I figured out against Bowser Jr. is crouching against Bowser Jr. is broken. So that's like the most random piece of tech, guys. So if you're crouching, so say that this is a stage and you're like crouching right here. He does like a rising fair and it goes over you. And then he has a choice. He can either fast fall it and get the landing hit to try to hit you, or he can retreat and then like basically be safe if you wait for the landing hits. But if you shield here, after crouching you shield, you basically do not lose. And if he misspaces a little bit and he retreats, you can still up B him. And then here's the other thing. If you shield and he hits your shield with the rising fair, you can react to the rising fair and do a short hop. And then if he fast falls the forward air, the landing hitbox whiffs you on short hop. And then even though you don't get a punish, you do get to pressure him on landing. And one thing that I found, like that I want to experiment with, is to do a short hop and then do an immediate up B. So if Bowser Jr., let me actually type something. Someone messaged me. I think if we shield the rising fair, we can jump to avoid the landing hit, and then a B to actually punish him still. So we need to do a jump, get off the ground, and then a B to punish it. And I think if that is a consistent punish, then this matchup we actually win. I think if yo Mari, thank you for the raid. How are you doing? How was your stream? We're doing a matchup chart. We haven't gotten to the losing matchups yet. So I feel like yeah, in a lot of situations, his forward air dominates the airspace where we want to be. But if we play more of a grounded game, then he struggles a lot. But then if we play more grounded, he gets to approach us with the side Bs. And then if he gets to approach us with the side Bs, then he gets to pressure us in a lot of situations. So then we need to do like aerials again. And then if we do aerials, then we're kind of like back into like his forward air airspace mix-up. So Bowser Jr. does surprisingly well against Shulk. I'm sorry, Rickles. I mean, to be fair, he's in my not confident area. So like I don't have a lot of confidence in the placing of this matchup, okay? All I know is that Captain Falcon is free and Ganondorf is the worst captain. No, I'm just kidding. So let's see. We had some next suggestions. Let's see. Palu. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll go through the list and I'll place some of them that I have less confidence in so that we know. So like, I feel like Corrin is a solid win, but I'm not super confident at all. I feel like these are all echoes. I feel like Donkey Kong is a solid win. Not as big as you would think, but like solid still. Because we like pressure him off stage very well, but his neutral, like his aerials and his tilts actually do very well against Shulk. So like it's only like +1 in my opinion, like a solid +1, but it's only +1. Not a lot of experience though. Let's see who else. Duck Hunt. I have a decent amount of Duck Hunt experience. What's up, guys? For Duck Hunt, I'm pretty sure we win pretty solidly. I'll put him like around here. I think Duck Hunt does pretty poorly against Shulk. Fox, I'm pretty confident is like around Young Link level. Like it's about the same confidence, I would say. Maybe just like just around here. We do very well against Fox. We beat him into neutral. We destroy him off stage. We shield out of his combos. We basically just murder him. What is it? Duck Hunt had rabies? I'm not even close to the Duck Hunt, so I don't get rabies. I have a laser sword, dude. Ice Climbers, I don't know shit about Ice Climbers, but from what I've heard, it's pretty good. That's like, I have zero confidence in this matchup, so we're putting him like right around here. Another proof that Young Link and Fox are Echo Fighters. Exactly. Let's see. These are some of the more interesting ones, I guess. Falco, I have relatively little confidence in, but it feels like a good matchup. I'm gonna practice with a Falcon offline tomorrow. Falco offline tomorrow. And like I know I played against Falco before. Yeah, Elite 2. I'm gonna practice with Elite 2 tomorrow. I know we shield out of his combos. We generally outperform in neutral, and like if he is forced to recover with a B, we kind of shit on him. But that's like everything Falco does. Like he often recovers with double jump anyway, which is pretty good against Shulk, I feel like, because we cannot really do a lot against that. But it feels like a solid win for us still. It might be a little bit like, it might be around here. I'm not super confident on my Falco placing. But from what I played, it feels like a pretty sweet deal for Shulk. The only thing that sucks is that like sometimes Falco just kind of like hits you and you explode. But like his up tilt is super, like it's -12. I want to say super punishable, but it's punishable with up B out of shield. And like that is like that is the most important aspect of this matchup for Shulk in my opinion. Is down tilt not always being a B out of shieldable? That's interesting to me. I didn't actually know that. I played Brawl Falco. I couldn't even touch Smash 4 Falco, dude. Oh yeah, we can up B his forward air, which is crazy. That's like big. That's really big. Yep. But yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. I'm not confident in his placing at all. You think he does better than Fox? Well, I do have him a tier down, so you know, like he does do better according to my chart as well. So there you go. I made him for the first 2 years. Dang, bro, why would you do that? Why would you do that to this? We can up B. Yeah, we can up B fair. It's the biggest part of the matchup in my opinion. Yeah, it changes a lot. It changes a lot. Actually. Yeah. So let's see. Incineroar, we win pretty solidly. I'm decently confident about that. It's like right here or something like that. Hey Philly, what's up? Yeah, Incineroar just got destroyed. Not much to say about it. The best thing Falco can do, or the best thing Shulk can do, is basically never use neutral air because it loses to side B. It gets super armored. So only use back air and like some space forward air, and like never use neutral air. It's one of the only matchups in which I almost never use neutral air. I vividly remember the first stock I took off of in friendlies was with Falco up smash. That's crazy. Inkling, I think Inkling, I'm pretty confident. It's like pretty bad for Inkling. I don't think there's much more to say about the matchup. Yeah, I don't see Inkling winning it at any time. We platform camp, get shield arts, she never kills us. We gimp her, we ledge trap her, we do everything that Inkling hates basically. We outrange her. Not much Inkling can do. Little Mech, I'm like decently confident that we kind of like shit on Little Mech. Yeah, the hard thing is that there's a pause between like the final hit of forward air and then the landing hit. So like you can get hit if you're too early with up B, and then like the forward air, like the fast fall time mix-up can fuck us up. Anyway, we platform camp Little Mech. We shield camp Little Mech. We're really good at shield camping Little Mech because our up B out of shield punishes everything he does. I'm pretty sure his down is like -11. Let's check it out just to be sure before I embarrass myself. Yeah, the Falco forward air is what I meant. Down tilt is -14. We can easily like up B that. So yeah, basically it's really bad for Little Mech. He actually recovers pretty decently against Shulk because Shulk kind of struggles to beat the side B, but we can like 2-frame him a lot of the times. Yeah, I mean overall it's Little Mech. He's not a good character. I would say Luigi. I am like I'm decently sold on the fact that we beat Luigi semi-solidly. Yeah, I'll do Min next. So we shield art the stupid combos, but then Luigi still has like good hitboxes to challenge us with, like back air, and like his down B is really good against Shulk strings because Shulk doesn't really have a lot of true combos. So you always are playing around the down B to exit for them to exit a combo. However, we do pressure them off stage pretty well. I'm gonna push it back just a little bit. What else? His frame data is really good against Shulk still. We can up B out of shield a lot of stuff, but if he's too close, he can actually left-right mix up. And that actually makes it hard for us to do anything. But I would still say it's a solid win for Shulk. I think it might be worse than this. It can definitely be worse than this. But it probably isn't any better than this. Let's put it that way. Yeah, I might just move it up a little bit. Let's see, who else? Who are the easy placements? Mario, I'm decently confident that like we do really well against Mario. Like probably just as well as Luigi, maybe a little bit less. I'll put Mario like right around here. Very standard matchup. We wall out Mario, we shield out of the combos, we gimp Mario, we platform camp Mario. We basically do everything that Mario hates. So good matchup for us. I think the landing down here, I don't know how safe it is. Let me quickly check. I've upbeat it before, but I don't know if I upbeat it because the Mario is mashing. Yeah, it's -11. So we can upbeat a down air mix-up, which is huge for us. So, yeah, Mario, standard winning matchup, pretty easy. Let's see, Mega Man, I don't have a lot of confidence against Mega Man. I want to play against loading sometime. But to me, it feels like a solid win for Shulk from what I played of it. Our Nair shreds through the pellets. We do well against him offstage because he doesn't have a hitbox. Yeah, I'm just going down the list and doing the easy ones first, guys. We shred for the pellets. We pressure him off stage. Buster ruins his disadvantage. We don't deal with his down air because we go high with jump. Yeah, overall, just a really good matchup for us. Not much to say about it, in my opinion. I think it makes sense. Let's see. So, Gunner, I play against Dion, but it was at Valhalla, so it's already like more than a year ago. But it felt like we did pretty well. I would put Gunner like around here. Over quickly winning a Mario Party minigame to comment, exactly. Mii Gunner, from what I play against Dion, it's pretty straightforward. We outrange the character, and if you know how her specials work, like if you know which specials you want to hit with your sword, you actually beat her pretty easily. Because if you hit like some of her projectiles with your sword, you just disarm them, and then like they're useless, and it's really important against her. Overall, we just do well against her. Mii Swordfighter, I play against Lennox or Lonex, I don't know which one it is. We basically we shit on Mii Swordsman. It's not super confident, but like pretty confident that we shit on Mii Swordsman. Game & Watch, decently confident that we do pretty well. Lennox, okay. I played against a few Game & Watches. From what I gather, it's just a good matchup for Shulk. That said, it's still Game & Watch. He still has good advantage state. It's kind of like Zelda, where like you do really well, but then sometimes he just kind of wins. Like that's kind of like all these characters, right? Like you do really well against Falco, but sometimes he just hits you. You do really well against Lucas, but sometimes he 2-frames you. You do really well against Lucario, but sometimes he lives with Aura. You do really well against Inkling, but if Inkling gets a lead, it's actually really hard. You do really well against Fox, but if Fox offsets you at 90, you die. Stuff like that. Like it's all kind of like the same, where we generally win, but because Shulk's weaknesses are so fundamental to like the character, like his frame data, like his poor out of shield, like his reliance on resources. Like everyone can abuse that. Ness, a lot of people are gonna hate me for this one too. I'm not super confident in Ness because I haven't played against Ness being as good as I am. But I think I would put him around like here, around Sephiroth level. We actually do well against Ness in the neutral, but Ness's advantage state against us is really good. Like, disproportionately good. Like, shield art doesn't matter against this character good. Like, he doesn't care about shield art, but then again, like, we juggle him very well too. But he has so many reversals that, like, we have to commit preemptively to covering the reversal, and then if he doesn't reversal, then we're kind of shit out of luck. So, like, I don't really know what the risk reward is there, and I've been like recently I've been focusing more on covering the reversals better, and it's been working out really well. I'm playing a more passive neutral, and it's been working out really well too. Like, one tip for you guys, walking against Ness is really good because oftentimes he hits you while you're trying to move around with like PK Fire. But yeah, it still feels pretty close to even. I'm actually not super confident about this placing because yeah, I think Ness's advantage state is really good against Shulk. And actually, like, there's a set of Kome against Gokt, where Gokt, I think, goes game 5 or even wins. But, like, I play against S1, and, like, when he hits me once, it's, like, so hard to get out of that disadvantage. He's very similar to like, a lot of, like, the close quarter fighters, like Peach, what else? Like Peach, like Ken and Ryu, where if he does get in, it's, like, really bad for Shulk. And at the longer ranges, it's actually hard to get in on this. The only Ness I've seen beat Shulk was Foe versus Nico. Yeah, I mean, that's fair enough. I think it's close to... I think it's like +1 in my opinion. But it's like close to even. Peach, I talked a lot about Peach. I'm very confident this matchup is like... Let's put it right here. I'm not the most confident because I think there is a little bit of room for it to go here. There is a teeny tiny bit of room for it to be Shulk winning. Just a tad. Actually gonna put it here. So, I would put this even on the matchup chart. I would put it as even on the matchup chart for sure. But I think because we have more X Factor than Peach does. And if Peach X Factors us, then like we probably fucked up in a pretty big way. But it can happen. She can get like a forward air read at the ledge and we die. She pressures way too well. Actually, I think it is true even. The thing is, like, we don't have our arts available against Peach a lot because we have to interact. Is Shulk top 5 in my opinion? Yes. He's top 1 in my opinion. Or maybe like top 2. But like Peach, like you have to interact with her so much that you cannot rely on your arts being active all the time. And you cannot rely on your Buster too much because she does too much damage. If you're in Buster against Peach and she hits you once you take 20%, you can lose an entire game off of that interaction, even if you shield her afterwards. Let me think, what else? Our offstage pressure against her is what makes me believe it might be +1 for Shulk. But like I don't know. I feel like on paper I can see how Shulk destroys her, but then in practice, it just never happens against Mary. So here's the thing, Saint Hentai. Against Peach, your ledge trapping is not the greatest because Peach has like a lot of mixes from ledge. She has the best ledge roll in the game. So we need to ledge trap from further out just to cover the ledge roll. And then she can do jump, float, cancel, fast fall as she's in the corner. Just like that. And then when she's in the corner, we actually do pretty well. But I don't know if it's good enough because of how like we have to like preemptively like wall out. And then like if Peach reads that, she actually gets out. A lot of the times. That said, I do think if anyone wins, it's probably Shulk. So, you know what? I'll put it up. It's so hard to say because Peach has so much X Factor. This character has the craziest. She has the craziest damage output, and like if she gets a read on you, she just up smashes you, forward smashes you, forward airs you, you die. She gets to pressure her offstage so well. She never commits. No, I'm gonna leave it in even. I think like. It's so hard. Something in me says like on paper, Shulk should win. On on paper, Shulk should win, but in practice, it never happens that way. Let's put it that way. And on paper, Shulk should win very, very slightly. Very slightly. But it doesn't happen that way in practice. And speaking of the other one, it's, I actually think it's probably, like, if there's another one, it's probably Peach. I think Pika loses more matchups than Pika mains care to admit, personally. So, Olimar, I have almost no experience against Olimar. I played like one set against an Olimar. It felt like pretty winning. We Merc is off stage. We don't really care about Pikmin in neutral. It feels like we do well, but I don't know for sure. Like, I have almost no confidence in this placing. Let's see. Robin, I have almost no faith in. I'm going to practice against Robin as well. So, like, both Falco and Robin, we're going to see move to the right pretty soon. I played it a little bit against Mad Ice King, and it felt like a solid, like, +1 for Shulk. Nothing too crazy. Robin is pretty good at occupying the airspace where we want to be. But then, like, if they camp and we camp, it feels like we kind of win out. And then if they don't have sword, we can rush them down pretty badly. So it's it's very unique because, like, it's a very resource-driven matchup. Because we both have resources that we're managing. But then there's, like, the offstage, which to me sounds like it's pretty bad for Robin. Especially with Ledge Slip. Ledge Slip sounds like it shits on Elwind. Like, for free. Like, actually for free. So this is probably, like, it can be worse than this, but +1 is, like, my safe bet. Let's see, any other easy ones? Like Yoshi, I'm decently sure we win pretty solidly. Like around Mario level, I would say. Let's see, Wii Fit, I don't think many people will argue with me about Wii Fit. I'm not, like, I actually grinded this matchup a lot while I was picking up Shulk because I lost to a local Wii Fit and then I, like, won. I think, like, 2 or 3 times in a row. And it feels like it's a solid win. Yeah, it just feels like it's a solid win. Like, something like this. But I'm not, like, super confident in it. And then the rest of them, I think Byleth is a pretty easy one. I don't think anyone would disagree with me that, like, Shulk has a solid win on Byleth as well. I feel, like, decently confident saying that. Byleth tether, like, most tethers just lose to Jumponado. We talked about it with Ivysaur. Like, Byleth's aerials are easy to up-B at a shield as well. I'm pretty sure they're all up-B at a shieldable. Let me double check just before I'm spouting nonsense. No shortcuts on Byleth's page. I hate it. Yeah, her down tilt can be up-B'd, which is big. It removes one of her best ground tools. And then her forward air is not. But then her back air definitely is. And I don't know if this -9, is that her landing hit? That should be her landing hit. Let's see. So, oh yeah, her landing hit hits on frame 2. So that it's 13 frames. Yeah, that's -9. So we cannot up-B that. Though, if they drift away from us, we definitely can. And even if we cannot up-B it, it's still a bad situation for them. Yeah, her back air is pretty easy to up-B from what I've seen. I've even up-B'd some forward airs if they're done too high, and then if they do it too low, it's pretty easy to parry. Her side B is decent against Shulk, I would say, but I think mainly it's like her disadvantage is too bad. I don't think we can if it's still, because it's so low damage that stillness doesn't change the damage output, I think. Like, her disadvantage is too poor, and like, if we're in speed, we just kind of like rush her down, and she cannot do much about it. That's how I feel about it anyway. And then at like 50, we go into Smash, we hit her off stage. 1 second. At 50, we hit her off stage with Smash. We go into Jump, we chase her, she dies. There's very little she can do about that. So it feels like, it definitely feels like a win for Shulk. So let's actually get into, Young Link or Toon Link, I've relatively little confidence in. I played against a few Young Links, I think, or Toon Links like 2, but it felt like a solid win. Like, similar to Young Link, honestly. It's in this, like, area where it's like, I'm pretty sure we do well against these characters. But not 100%. Sonic, I have decent faith that we get like a +1. I'll put like right around here. Played Cake. Yeah, I played Cake. I played a Nordic ice climber. I forgot his name. I actually coached him too. I forgot his name. But I played both of them, and both of the times it just felt really good. Toon Link doesn't get out of the corner. Toon Link doesn't really recover well. You can do the same thing as Young Link, where you just kind of like back throw them. And if you back throw them, they're facing away from the stage, so they can no longer zare to the ledge, and then they're toast. They just don't recover from that position. Overall, felt like a really bad matchup for Toon Link. And I'll be able to shield this dash attack too, which normally they can use pretty haphazardly, but not against Shulk. He doesn't have the aerial pressure that Young Link has. We might even do better against him than we do against Young Link. Like, low-key, we might do better against him, too. Lunner, exactly. Thank you. So those are some easy ones. Sonic, I played against Super Striker. It felt like a good matchup. Not much more to say. In speed, we actually contest his mix-ups very well. We can pressure his offstage. We never die. We can time him out just as he can time us out. We have a good out of shield, so he cannot really do shield mix-ups. Overall, just very similar to Smash 4 in my opinion. So let's get into some interesting matchups. We're gonna do them as we go. So Bayo, I'm not super confident in because I only play against Wi-Fi Bayos, but it feels pretty close to even. I'll put her like right here. It feels like Shulk has like a minor advantage, but then like Bayo, again, Shulk is bad against reversals. Bayo has really good reversals. We can pressure her off stage, but mostly from the ledge because we have good disjoints. She can pressure us pretty well because she has good burst range. Again, burst range is good against Shulk. I might move her down just a tad. We can negate some of her witch time, but like not always. And overall, like she destroys shield art, which is actually like it sucks a lot. Like if we shield art, we often, even after her combo, we often get put in like a bad situation, and because we don't have frame data, so she can just keep contesting us, keep us in disadvantage for a long time, and then eventually just forward throw kill us, which is again it's good against Shulk because it means we cannot just live forever with shield art. She's really good at gimping Shulk too. I think the matchup basically comes down to if Bayo gets a gimp, she wins. If she doesn't get a gimp, I would say it's like a slight favor for Shulk. But like, she shouldn't gimp us too often if we just play patiently. Very slow-paced matchup. Bowser, I feel like we have a decent advantage, but not that big. I'm not super confident in my Bowser placing. I play against a fair amount of Bowsers. Cursed Cake, Skippo, a few others in like pools, and I always feel like I have a small advantage. You think it's a huge favor for Shulk? Can you explain why? I play against Bloom and like it's Wi-Fi Bayo, that's why I'm like not confident. But I know Bloom thinks it's like even, which I can kind of see when I play him on Wi-Fi. But then like I'm like if it's offline, I don't know how it's gonna be different. I'm not gonna say like it's gonna be better offline. I'm just saying like I don't know how it's gonna be different. But yeah, we don't hold an advantage against this character, and that makes it hard for us, in my opinion. But yeah, I think Bowser, Bowser's rushdown can be hard to deal with, but we do murk him off stage. It's close to even though. It's close to even in my opinion. It's not actually even in my opinion though. Falcon, I know some Shulks think this is good for Falcon, but I think it's like right here. I think we do pretty well against Falcon. Mainly because we gimp him so well, especially with Ledge Slip. Like Ledge Slip murders Captain Falcon every single time. And then like we wall him out pretty well too, if we just don't rely on Becker too much because that's easy to parry. But like he kind of struggles to get in, and if he does get in, we get shield art. But then like the hard part about the matchup is that if they keep up the pressure, we're not gonna always have shield art. But then again, like if we play patiently normally, and then they force out our shield art if they win, we can still go into speed, and then our speed neutral is actually like really overwhelming for him, so it's hard for him to deal with that. Cloud, it feels like a solid win. I'm not super confident on Cloud. I would put it like right around this level. I feel like Cloud's up out of shield is really good against Shulk. Cloud also has like better normals, I feel like. Like Cloud back air, it's faster than Shulk's aerials, and has range to contest it with. Plus, Cloud himself is fast. So Cloud actually does pretty well against Shulk in like the neutral. It's just that as soon as Cloud gets pushed off stage, he can die at any percent. Like smash one out at 50, throw him off stage, try to gimp him. Ledge trap fucks up air to ledge, so that's no longer a mix-up. I feel like before Ledge Slip, it was closer to even, but now it's definitely an advantage for Shulk. Chrom, I'm pretty confident it's like right around here. I would say it's like a tiny advantage for Shulk, because of, I feel like it's swingy in our favor, but it's basically all but even. It's basically all but even. If there's an advantage for Shulk, it's very minor. Again, I feel like the advantage is there because of Ledge Slip, which makes it easier to Oh, that's okay, Sandfall. Thank you. So it's easier to catch his air dash ledge, which used to be very hard for Shulk to beat. But in return, he got like ledge slip counter, which can actually beat our air slash, which is very annoying. Yeah, overall, I think we do decently against Chrom, but it's pretty even. He has like range to contested us and more speed, which is basically what you need. Oh, Isabelle is another easy one. I don't have a lot of confidence, but it feels like it's it feels like it's decently easy. We kind of like, we can down tilt the mine. We negate her mine to up air combos. Her slingshots still feel hard to deal with, kind of like Villager. But I've only played it on Wi-Fi, and on Wi-Fi, like, all the zoners are easier to deal with. Ike, it's like a small advantage for us, it feels like. What about Marcina? I'll get to them. I'm going down the list. So Ike actually has a lot of tools to fuck with Shulk, in my opinion. Like, Ike's dash attack is exactly what you want when you're playing as Shulk. Because if Shulk does, like, short hop backwards to while you out, you can dash attack him for it, and, like, Shulk just dies. So Shulk has to play very grounded, which in turn lets Ike get a lot more, like, jumping mix-ups. And Shulk doesn't really have the frame data to anti-air Ike's short hop very well. And then he needs to do, like, aerials to kind of keep Ike out of the air. And then when you're in the air, you kind of open yourself up to reads a lot. That said, we do gimp Ike pretty well. Our counter kind of shits on quick draw. And overall, like, he does struggle to get out of this advantage. That said, it's close to even. It's pretty close to even. I think, yeah, I think we just generally win because of range. And speed art pressure is also really good against Ike. So if we're up against Ike, we can kind of just go into speed art and kind of like pressure him. He doesn't really have the out of shield to deal with that. And if he does get either off, we can go into shield and negate a lot of that. We can go to shield to negate nair up air as well, which is big. The only thing is, like, we have to be scared about, like, both Buster and Smash, because both of those tools, like, if Ike hits us at the wrong time, we die. I actually died in tournament because I was in Smash, and he nair up aired me at like 30 and it comboed and I died, and I was like, okay, well, that happens. Ken, I'm not super confident in because I don't have a lot of experience against Ken. I wanna fix that. Where would you place on my chin, bro? I would place Ken like around here. Yeah. I think around here for now. Delano, you're not slick, bro. Come on. Ken has good speed, which I think is he faster than Shulk? Who's faster, Shulk or Ken? Let's figure it out. I see why the buttons were not there. We were too zoomed in. Dash speed. Oh, they just don't have the data for that. Initial dash. Shulk is actually pretty decent for initial dashes. It's not this level, but it's okay. Shulk is right here, and Ken. Where's Ken? Is he higher than me? He is. His initial. He's faster than us. Ken is faster than us. There you go. So he runs you down. And like his nair is actually really hard for Shulk to deal with because Shulk doesn't really have great whiff punishes. But we do well against focus because we have a multi-hit up air, which is pretty big. We gimp Ken really well, and of course we can shield art out of his up B, which is a huge part of the matchup in my opinion. Diddy. People are gonna hate me for this, but I actually think this matchup is like not horrible from what I've played it. So maybe a little bit better than that. So DDD actually his ground game does really well against Shulk. So he outranges us on the ground because of his forward tilts. Like if we go into the air and he plays it slow, it's actually hard for us to like break him open. because of his like his Gordos, which are hard for Shulk to hit back because their frame data sucks. So sometimes we have to take a Gordo, and it sucks. We cannot gimp him off stage very well because of his super armor up B, which actually makes it harder to kill him early, even though we have Smash. We can keep him in the corner, which is pretty good. But like, yeah, I think his forward tilt is really good. His parries are really good because he can parry forward tilt us and hit even our back air, which changes it a lot, the matchup a lot for us. His Gordos are pretty decent in the matchup. His down tilt is actually surprisingly good as a zone breaker. And I mean, I guess if he just kind of like camps with Gordos, I don't think Shulk can do a lot about that. But then like the camping with Gordos doesn't really do a lot for Diddy either. So it kind of comes down to who makes the first mistake. So it's like a very slow paced matchup. That's very much about like how clean do you play. But if you play clean, it should be pretty good for Shulk. That said, Shield Monado is pretty bad against Diddy in my opinion. Because Diddy just kind of hits you with one hits, kills you with one hits. Ken's combos are okay if he resets with Crescent Kick on Shield Art. I think we can react to Shiryu and Shield Art out, but I'm not sure about that. K. Rool, I have almost no confidence in. You're going to have to ask True 4 about this. I've only played against Cool K. Rool like once or twice. It felt pretty advantageous. I played against S1's K. Rool. I think I have a little bit more confidence than that. I'll put it like right here, around Corrin level. Maybe Corrin should be pulled back a little bit. Yeah, I just felt like a solid matchup. It's a very weird matchup because like K. Rool has some tools that Shulk really hates, like good burst range, like a kill throws, like a good recovery that can be hard to contest. But overall though, it's not a good matchup for K. Rool from what I can tell. But it's K. Rool. He can get kills. He has a decent disadvantage. He's heavy. So he's gonna do decently against Shulk. People are gonna be mad that they say, "Oh, K. Rool does better than Lucario." There's no way. Well, there you go. Link. A lot of people think this matchup is even. I think it's slight favor for Shulk. I think it's around this level. I will say, I'll put it right there. I actually put it right there. I'm a little bit more confident in it than I am in Hero. I will say I've never played against a Link who does the jumpless bomb recovery, and I feel like if he does jumpless bomb recovery, well, I played against Valfi in like a coaching session, but that doesn't count, and in a money match, but that doesn't count either because I won that one as well. Actually, I've beaten almost every Link that I played, even when my Shulk was ass. So I never played it against, or I haven't played a lot against a jumpless bomb recovery Link. But I feel like it actually like makes the matchup more even. Overall though, the matchup is pretty even. I think the advantage that Shulk has is purely in his offstage control. But even then, even if you do a jumpless bomb recovery, if I'm in jump and I follow you, I'm going to hit you before you blow yourself up and you're going to die. That's the advantage that I think Shulk has. Outside of that is almost entirely even. Link's Nair is amazing at controlling the neutral game. We don't have a lot of time to punish it with the up B. His forward air controls the airspace so well in this matchup. It's actually almost a perfect move against Shulk because the weakness, which is the bad startup, is very hard for Shulk to abuse. Link having a good fast fall helps a lot against Shulk's juggles as well. So if you fast fall with Link and air dodge and I up tilt, then you get to hard punish with your own up B. And yo, Jigglychamp with the 200 bits. Thank you so much, Jiggly. Appreciate the way you support the channel. I really do. I really do. Thank you for coming by. Thank you for supporting me. I appreciate it. What else? Yeah, his out of shield game is also really good against Shulk. His down tilt can be very good against Shulk as well. Can kind of like control the ground space, which normally, like against most sorties, Shulk actually does pretty well because his down tilt has so much range. But Link's down tilt has a surprising amount of range as well. Yeah, and Shield Art is not great against Link either. He can also like ledge trap with the bomb very well. He has a good shield combo, so that's very true too. That said, his rising back air, if you do shield it, we can up B it out of shield, which puts a hamper on his pressure, which normally doesn't happen much. His throw combos are kind of useless against Shulk because of Shield Art though, which is pretty big, I would say. Same for him as for Young Link. I feel like at certain ranges I can react to the boomerang and up B it on reaction, which is huge. Camera, please. It's gonna, there it is. Which is huge. I don't know if it's possible in reaction. I don't have enough practice to say that for sure. But it feels like it is. Which limits his boomerang game. Yeah, overall, he's just a really good character. It's all but even. The only advantage Shulk has is the offstage. Unfortunately for Link, that's a pretty big advantage. Lucina, I'm not gonna rank Marth. Maybe barely. Yeah, it's frame 27, but then there's also some travel time. I feel like I've done it before. That's what I'm saying. I feel like I've done it before. But it might have just been a read. Lucina, it's like either slight Shulk favor or like perfectly even. For now, I'll put Lucina at perfectly even. I feel like Lucina has, it's kind of similar to like Chrom and Roy in that she doesn't have more range than Shulk, but she has the speed to, make up for like the small range difference, and then she kind of zone breaks you. And then like a lot of, like, because Shulk relies on shield so much, he actually cannot do that against Lucina because of Lucina's shield breaker, as well as Lucina's neutral air, which, you know, the 2 hits, the landing hit is going to be safe. Unless I parry, which I don't, like, I haven't really practiced, but technically it should be possible. And then like down tilt is really good against Shulk as well. I feel like Lucina basically has the tools needed to beat Shulk. Down tilt 2-frame also very good. Offstage pressure, amazing against Shulk. I think I'm going to put it in slight winning for Shulk. Because of this, it's exactly Z-Gyro. That's exactly what I was going to say. And Sandfall, you said it as well. I agree. Bought bits, but I still had these apparently. Thank you, Jiggly. 52. Every little bit helps. Every little bit. Thank you, man. I appreciate that so much. Yeah, our up tilt kind of shits on Lucina, and even our dash attack is really good against her in landing. But then like she gimps us a lot better than we gimp her. And that's why I think it's kind of even, because like I feel like we win generally, but then she can just gimp us and be like, okay, well now I'm winning. What are you gonna do about it? And I feel like that dynamic really messes me up about my rating. And I feel like that dynamic is also where the lack of confidence is. So if I get a better grip of how that dynamic plays out, right? Like is her explosiveness an advantage more impactful than our advantage in a neutral and like juggling? Like which one is more impactful? That is gonna depend whether I think Lucina is gonna like lose or go even. It's hard to get off the ledge. I don't think so, because like if you get a normal get up off and you get in your shield, you have your up B at a shield, and having her up B at a shield against Shulk is so amazing. Because like Shulk often relies on range to be a little bit safer, but her up B kind of puts a stop to that, which is pretty big in my opinion. Do you think Lucina and Wolf are equally good versus Shulk? I think they're very comparable. Yes, I think they're very comparable for sure, in my experience. Because I feel like if Wolf wins, like Wolf does a little bit better in neutral, but like he kind of gets he has a tendency to die in disadvantage, but then he can explode us in disadvantage as well. Whereas I feel like with Lucina, like the swinginess is more in her favor, whereas the consistency is more in our favor. Floaties are less scary when you realize they have to commit to jumping in a game with bad ground movement. Okay, so here's the thing. If Lucina full hops and she's drifting, and there's any sort of platform on the field, then she can always retreat to the platform. And it's very hard for us to, like, react to that, because she can always, like, fast fall through and, like, neutral air. She has a lot of mix-ups. I think her full hop is really good, because her full hop can allow her to react to things. And then her short hop isn't actually that much floatier than other short hops. Like, I could show you guys. Why is her up B good against Shulk? Doesn't it lack range? Her up B does not lack range at all. Actually, it has a lot of good range as an outer shield tool. So jump durations. You can sort the jump duration, the short hop, and then Lucina is going to be at the floatier end, right here. So she is at the floatier end. But then if you compare, if you look at her short hop fast fall, it's actually like 28 frames, which is basically like pretty average. So Shulk is 26. Where's Shulk? I just scrolled past him. 26. So here's Shulk, 26. Here's Lucina at 28. So like, if we look at the short hop fast fall, she's actually not that much more floaty than any other character. It's mostly her full hop, which is significantly more floaty in my opinion, because it is like 55 frames, whereas Shulk's is like 50. And while her full hop fast fall is 38, which is only like 2 slower than Shulk again, it's mostly about the fact that her rising part takes like that long in her full hop. Whereas her short hop, it's a little bit less impactful, partially because she also has neutral air as a timing mix-up, as well as side B as a timing mix-up. Like overall, the character is really good. I think America underrates Lucina a lot. The character is amazing in my opinion, and I think she is top 10. I think she is top 10. I'm not gonna rate Marth because I've never played against a Marth, but like if I were to say anything, we probably do a little bit better than Lucina because his tippers are less consistent. And like Shulk can kind of like with speed, it's gonna be hard to tipper a Shulk. That's my theory. Literally never play against a Marth outside of like a few games against Abu, and it felt like we just kind of like do pretty well. Meta Knight. I like her fastball air dodge and disadvantage, somewhat mediocre. Yeah, I agree. I think it is mediocre compared to a lot of top tiers, but because her swings are so good, you have to respect her a little bit more, which does a lot for her. And like it's worse defensively, but it's better offensively because she has more time to react, in my opinion. So Meta Knight, I'm gonna put like right here, and you guys are gonna hate me for it. I'm not super confident against Meta Knight, but I play against a few, and I actually feel like this matchup can be very hard because he has the burst range to mess with Shulk's ideal mid-range, and he actually gimps Shulk better than I think any other character in the game, maybe, which is crazy for me to say. But like we cannot backslash because his tornado beats that, so you never want to backslash. We cannot air dodge through ledge. We cannot really go low because of like he can even tornado that. He can often like we could nair us too and then like forward air us afterwards. He can like do a lot of things to gimp us. His disadvantage is really good against Shulk because his dimensional cape is very hard for Shulk to beat. If we want to react to dimensional cape, we're too late because our frame data is that ass. Not that ass, but like that bad, that ass. We cannot gimp him, which is normally where we get our kills. We cannot ledge trap him because of his down B, which is amazing. Dash attacks are that impactful against Shulk in my opinion. So if we look at Meta Knight, he's not forced to commit though. He's not forced to commit because he can wait out your reaction to his burst range. His down tilt is -9, which means we cannot up B it, which is huge. His what was it? What was I gonna be looking at? Forward smash is safe and shield as well, which is pretty big against us in my opinion. Okay, so this is a weird thing about Shulk, but like we cannot up B his aerials, which means we actually kind of struggle to punish them if he does them well. Because, well, if we want to air, we actually kind of like, we don't want to be in the air against Meta Knight because of his dash attack on our landing, which works really well off of a parry. And then like, if we don't enter the air, they actually get to like do more landing aerials on us than we would like, which is a weird dynamic. Oh right, Dimensional Cape. So it's till 39. So after 39 you can react, so take about 20 frames after, and then the move is already over. By the time you've like fully reacted and try to do a move. So you cannot even up B it on reaction, it's just that fast. If they don't go into a special fall, of course, which they shouldn't do if they're smart. Like his disadvantage is perfect against Shulk, or well, almost perfect. His advantage is actually pretty decent against us. His neutral isn't great, but like then again, like our neutral is not great against his type of neutral either, because like he has decent up B out of shield, he has decent out of shield in general. So like our pressure isn't as good as we would like it to be. His parry is really good. And because his disadvantage is good, like our parry mix-ups aren't as great either. This is definitely like one of my more controversial placements. I actually think it might be even closer to even. Like I'm not entirely sure if this is even enough. But like as you can see by the placing, I'm not super confident on it. And I can see it go both ways, honestly. But I actually think Meta Knight can do pretty decently against Shulk. Especially with the shield nerfs, he does better against shield because of those. He doesn't get like sick combos at like low percents, but at higher percents he does. And like in a lot of situations, he just puts you in a bad situation, and then you don't have to feign it to contest, so it just gets to keep pressuring you. Pac Man feels like a pretty decent matchup. What is funny is that this matchup is harder in Ultimate than in Smash 4. I can believe that. I can definitely believe that. Pac Man, we do pretty well against Pac Man. I know like Kome and it actually might be a little bit too high. I think it's more like this. I just think we do well against Pac Man overall. We up B out of shield his dash attack. We up B out of shield his rising forward air. We gimp him pretty well. We avoid his jank because of shield art. We can camp for our Monados. We can shield art out of Galaga. If you're good like Kome, you can shield the Galaga and then do jump Z-catch to just disarm it completely. What else? We deal with Hydrant well. We can dash through Hydrant because of speed art. Like I think we're the only character in the game who can just go through Hydrant. No, you don't. You didn't miss Piranha Plant. The DLC is at the end. Oh wait, the DLC is here. Damn, we're almost there. So I feel like we just do solid against Pac Man. It might be even better. I might even put it here. I think we actually do really solid against Pac Man. But then like I'm not that confident. I'm a little bit confident. I'll put him here. Let's see, Palutena. So I will put Palutena right here. Actually, let's move her over. No, there she is. I think we go even with Palutena. Woo! Character development. Palutena's even now. Ramses, what happened? You used to hate Palutena. The buffs, bro. The buffs changed this matchup so much. Oh, zoom in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Where's Ramses? Dude, Ramses got replaced by Sakurai, the nerf god. He awoke my third eye has been opened and I can now see Palutena's ass. Nah, she's still broken. I think she's still good. But I don't think she's no longer like in like the upper echelon of the game because of the nerfs. I think the nerfs are really impactful. So I think the main change was the forward air. And it's fine if you don't agree, yes. I mean, when we played, I mean, what happened. I played against your Palutena. I played against Lars's Palutena too. Did I play against another Palutena? I don't know. So the grab change was huge because like our forward air used to be easy to grab for her because of like how we stuck out our hands, right? So she would just grab us for that, especially in Smash, and then like it would suck for us. So like the grab nerf was huge in this matchup specifically because we couldn't corner Palutena. Our down tilt got grabbed as well, even without like Smash, like normal ground down tilt. And like Buster down tilt, which normally no one can grab, she could grab even like point blank, which normally is not grabbable, right? So like the grab nerf helped a lot in cornering her. And then the forward air nerf helped a lot because, okay, so, oh, I played against Spaces Palu. Thank you, Gyro. I played against Spaces Palu as well. All three of the Palos I did well. I think Lars did best against me. But then, like, against Lars I played player versus player, and we still went, like, even. And it felt, like, very even. And we always go even in, like, most matchups. So, like, it's hard to use that as an indication. So, like, Palutena, the thing about Palutena is that, she used to be able to pressure us when we would camp for our Monados. So if we play defensive while we wait for our Monados, she would be able to like jump at us and do like short out forward airs. And even if we parried it, we would still not get anything out of it because of how safe the move was. The nerf actually made her pressure a lot less real. Between like parrying and just shielding it, we do a lot better against her landing forward air. And that means that she cannot just aggress on us. And that she cannot just aggress on us means that we can camp for our Monados, and when we camp for our Monados, we can actually shut her down very, very well. Speed against Palutena is really, really good. Outside of that, I feel like we do well against her offstage. Ledge Slip helped a lot again. When she does like a low up B, we used to have to kind of guess on her timing, but now we can react to the up B and do a ledge slip forward air and hit her if she doesn't do like the anti 2 frame height. If she does go for the anti 2 frame height, our jump and speed Monado can actually hit her for doing an up B at that height, and that creates for a very rough mix-up offstage for Palutena, which she never had before Ledge Slip. The dash attack nerf actually helped a little bit as well. We can actually up smash out of shield her dash attack, but in the previous iteration, it was such a tight window to get that I almost never went for it, because by the time I reacted to the dash attack, I was already too late. The few extra frames of lag actually give me time to recognize the dash attack and almost always get an up smash if I want the up smash to get the kill. Otherwise, I'd rather get like a grab or maybe even an up B. But like grab does really well because it unstills a lot more. How does Shulk contest Palu platform camping speed art? Shulk can do instant double jump outside of speed art to land on platforms leglessly. He could also switch to like get under her, switch to Buster, and then she's in a really bad spot because now you have Buster pressure. If you do full hop up air or down air in like a normal Monado, like vanilla Buster or Smash, you do full hop up air or full hop down air, you basically get a perfectly landing aerial on her shield. And if you get a full hop Buster up air on her shield, she's in big trouble. You can also do things like full hop nair, which is pretty safe. Full hop wave dash, so like full hop wave dash Monado cancel. So there's a lot of ways that you can contest, but the best thing to do is to just like instant double jump in speed and pressure from there, which is very hard for her to deal with actually. And then if she starts preemptively jumping, you can actually start to shark her with up tilts, and she actually struggles quite a bit with up tilt in my opinion. So yeah, maybe you're right, but I'll only admit it next time we play, that's fine. I think it's even now, so yay. The only thing I need to explore more is how good parries actually are versus her, and how to like optimize advantage state, but I feel pretty confident. I actually feel like wolf levels of confidence in this placing. And now I've hidden Snake. Let's just move her over. Let's just move her one over if I can grab her, so that we don't hide Snake. There you go. We don't want Snake to be hidden. But I'm pretty confident that is even. Pichu. I have very little Pichu experience, but it looks very good for us. We just kind of kill him. Yo, Silentor with the rage. You guys are just in time to find the latter half of my matchup chart, or the final few actually. I think there's about like 10 to 20 characters. How was your stream, Silentor? Did you have some good viewer battles? I placed Link right here. I'm sorry, silly. I don't know if you agree, but this is my personal opinion. I know you think it's even. I talked about it in a video. You should check out the VOD when I upload it to YouTube. So Pichu, don't have a lot of Pichu experience. All I know is that it's like Pikachu, but he has less range. And if we camp him, he loses percent. And if like our shield art is better against him, because like he relies more on like back air to kill, which we can shield art. And then we also just kill him in Smash Art at like stupid percents. I played at the AMA Fresh's Amazing Wi-Fi series tournament. It was a really good stream. Awesome. What did you place, Cylinder? Pichu is so easy to 2-frame. I don't... is he easier to 2-frame than Pikachu? I actually know the difference. Oh, right. Up B, of course. Up B not having a... oh, no. It's confidence. It's not confident against Link. It's confidence about... how confident am I that this is the exact rating? So basically, how much room is there? So characters here, I'm like, this could, like, Olimar could be anything. But this is, like, my feeling based on the limited experience. With Link, I have a lot more experience. So yeah, Pichu also not having a hitbox on her up B makes it easier to like, keep her in disadvantage. So definitely, like, a bit easier than Pikachu. Silentor, dude, Silentor, if we ever get to play offline, we're gonna be grinding for, like, 4 hours. I'm here for it. So we get to Plant. You got first? Silentor, congrats, man. Congrats. Plant, I'm decently confident. I would say just about as confident as Ness. That is like a solid win. I would say like a solid +1. The entirety of this, the characters here are not visible anymore. Oh, that was Byleth. Let's just, okay, well, bye Byleth. No losing matchup so far, yeah. I mean, this might be the best character in the game. Piranha Plant, it feels like if they camp, we kind of camp them back and we get our arts back. Neutral actually isn't that great for Shulk. But, or well, it's not that, what, I'm phrasing it wrong. So, Neutral is pretty evenish. I think Plant does pretty well. Good dash attack. Patui actually does well at anti-airing Shulk. However, his offstage is super vulnerable. On Wi-Fi, this matchup is impossible for Shulk because he just dash attacks us and Patui's us. It's actually like nothing like the offline matchup. I've been saving Pifra. Well, I mean, I added the DLC at the end, right? Trying to hear these opinions. I played a lot against Mr. R. I have a pretty solid opinion on the matchup. Let's see. Yeah, it feels like the main reason Shulk wins, in my opinion, is he outcomes just slightly because of art and Plant's like relatively lackluster offense. It's pretty Hail Mary offense, to be honest. Like, had to make a hard call out to set up pressure. Doesn't have great landing aerials. And then like the offstage is pretty rough for Plant. That is my experience. I want to play it more if Delano comes here again. So Pit, I have a decent idea of what Pit is. I think Pit is just a solid advantage. I might put him like right here. I think the main reason we do well against Pit is that we juggle him very well. We ledge trap him very well. He has good burst range, so the neutral actually isn't that bad for Pit. And he can actually edge guard us pretty well. I might move him down a little bit, but then he's gonna be hidden again, just like everyone else. So I'll just put him here for now. He edge guards us pretty well too, but with jump he actually struggles to do so. And then like we kill earlier, we deal more damage, we juggle better. I think the only thing he has is that like he has a lot of X Factor, or well, he has more X Factor than you think, because like. If he catches a landing and we have to recover, we actually can struggle a whole lot. And because Pit has such amazing burst range, he can control a decent amount of the pace of the neutral. So he might be a little bit better than this. I might put him here for now. But I might put him here. Like I don't know for sure. I'll put him here for now. I'm not that confident against him yet, but he's a pretty simple character, right? So not a lot to learn. Someone asked about Rosalina. I'm sorry to disappoint. I don't have a lot of Rosalina experience. His frame data is faster, but we can up B out of shield to forward air, which is the most important thing. I'm pretty sure we can up B out of shield to forward air. Yeah, we do need to play again. It's like -10, but then he can auto cancel it. In which case it's a very specific timing to auto cancel it correctly. I think we can up B it whatever he does, and that is big. That's like a very big deal. And we can up B the neutral air as well, which is also a very big deal. I beat Lucky in a money match. I beat Guy at the tournament beforehand. We can up B his down tilt. Overall, the matchup just feels like a solid win for Shulk. It's like +1, maybe +2. That's how I feel. I have not played Homika. So Rosalina, it feels like it's actually not that bad for Rosa. Mainly because like if we're in Buster or Speed, we deal reduced knockback. And that is going to make it harder for us to get rid of Luma. But if we do hit Luma well in speed, we can actually like drag her off the end of the stage very easily. I know I played this matchup a lot. I'm actually going to move it over even further. I actually played this matchup a lot in Smash 4. I was really good at this matchup. I practiced it with Spaces Rosalina, which was a really good Rosalina. And I played against Fallen in America, and we went... Like, I think I won, like, a little bit more than he did, which was very validating to me. So I understand a lot about the character and how to play against the character. I just haven't ever played this specific matchup. Well, I played it, like, once. I played it literally once in one tournament set, which went Game 5. I didn't know what to do. But yeah, like, I feel like Luma actually can mess things up for us here, because sometimes we kind of hit Rosalina, and then we hit Luma. And if that happens, our aerial is less safe because it's like we get in hit lag hitting the Luma. Her edge guarding is good as always, but she struggles to beat our jump art, it feels like. We kill her super early in Smash. Like, we kill her extremely early in Smash. But then her burst range is really good still. I'm pretty sure we can up B out of shield her dash attack though. Or up smash out of shield her dash attack. Yeah, you can up smash out of shield every aerial. Yeah, I think she's pretty solid. Dash attack. Yeah, it's like it's up B out of shield. Up B out of shield. We had the same birthday. Awesome, Burglar. The 7th of December, right? So yeah, like I'm pretty sure we can up B out of shield her dash attack, or up smash out of shield her dash attack, which is huge. Her ground pokes aren't great against Shulk, which is also like huge, because of our B. And then like her landing aerials are like her forward air is pretty unsafe, which is good, but then her neutral air is really good against us. I would like to play against Solo sometimes, who is like the resident Rosalina main. But yeah, I don't have a lot of confidence. It just feels like a solid matchup because we kill her early. But outside of that, I have no opinion at all. Yeah, lunar landing aerials are really good. But then she's really floaty, and I'm like, why would I ever be like shielding in that area, right? Just watch your video while you... why I almost dropped Smash. Ah, I see. So yeah, I really want experience in this matchup. It's high priority for me because of Homika. Belmonts. I have very little experience against Belmonts. I played against Noxombra. And it feels like we have a decent advantage. Yeah, like all tether characters, we go into jump and then we punish their off stage. We corner him especially well. But forward tilt is really good against Shulk, and he can actually contest our range, which is very surprising. Like almost no characters can contest our range. So in that regard, it actually can be a little bit hard to play the mid range. But then again, we can shield out of a lot of his confirms, and overall, like, we do pretty well. I thought it was a big advantage myself at first Sandfall, but ever since I play against Nox Umbra, I've started to believe, like, it's not as bad as I thought it was. Just, like, almost all of the Richter mains or Belmont mains are just really bad. But I think the character in and of itself doesn't do that poorly. Not as poorly as you would expect, let's put it that way. And the crazy thing is, I'll zoom in after this. I will say I only played against him on Wi-Fi, so like that's a big consideration. So the crazy thing is we cannot up B out of shield like any of like the forward air or the back air, which is big. Like most Sephiroth, like we can up B these moves. Byleth, not always, but we can often up B these moves. But not against Richter. We cannot beat a neutral air, which is pretty big too. But yeah, overall I would say it's like it's a decent advantage. I would put it like maybe move it up a little bit. He just contests our range. Ridley, I'm decently sure that this is like about Link level. Maybe we do a little bit better. So the thing about Ridley is that like Ridley does well against us in the neutral, but he gets destroyed in disadvantage, but then we get destroyed in disadvantage as well. So that's kind of like the dynamic, right? So like the neutral is kind of even, kind of back and forth. But I feel like we overall, I'll put him like right here. I'll put like right here. Actually gonna move a few characters, because I feel like maybe let's move Sephiroth down one. I think that's fair. And move Pokemon Trainer down one. Move Mario. Something like this. Ridley's forward smash can beat our ledge roll. Fun fact, it just beats our ledge roll. If he does it at a spacing in which the tipper hits our normal getup, it also hits our ledge roll. Oh, Carrot, that would be awesome. We should totally play sometime. I'm hella down. I'm hella down to play against Rosalina. Yeah, Ridley does well against Shulk. He has tilts to contest our range. He has aerials to contest our range. The only thing is we have a really good up B at a shield, and he doesn't have amazing grab reward. Which means that like our shield is really good against Ridley. We murder him off stage. Ledge slip counter is really good against him. It starts to be like untackable from like crazy percents, like 50 untackable. It's just like that. There's some specifics to the up B that I left out. But like overall we just do really well against it. We beat the side B to the ledge with our forward air. Or ledge slip forward air, or just forward air on stage. Are you allowed to have more session? I don't know what that means, Mifrex. But maybe. So overall, Ridley does surprisingly well against us. He has a command grab, but it's not great. His command grab is like... It should be reactable. It's like frame 25, something like that. 22, plus some travel time. Which is not that fast. Yeah, you can book as many sessions as you would like with Rex. So, yeah, I would say overall, though, it's probably one tier down. It's probably around here. Ridley does surprisingly well. I would say, like, it might be a little bit higher. I might put it up here. Yeah, I'm going to put it up there. But it could be a little bit more towards even. I lean towards, like, +1 / even. So I think I'll put him here. I think this is, like, +1 / even. Or maybe, like, more leaning towards +1. And then, like, this line with, like, Banjo and Roy, that's, like, +1 / even. Rob. So I know some Robs think that Rob wins. Some Shulks think that Rob wins. A lot of Robs think that Rob wins. I think that Shulk wins. I'm decently confident that we do. I'll put him like right here. I think Shulk wins. Yeah, I'll put him right there. I think we shield art out of his combos. So that's one, right? We shield art out of all of Rob's combos, so we don't get 0 to death. We juggle him forever. Like, up tilt is an amazing move against Rob. He cannot do anything about it. We pressure his offstage, which normally doesn't happen to Rob. I have a fidget toy that I keep dropping. I'm sorry. So we avoid his most damaging combos. We juggle him very well. We pressure his offstage. We do pretty decently in a neutral. I've recently labbed some ways that we can deal with gyro, and I've gotten better. Like, I've labbed out Z catching a gyro off stage, which helps a lot. I've labbed out doing a dash up, rising, retreating nair to catch a gyro, which helps a lot as well. I think we can protect the gyro very well with like a back air. We can back air over the gyro, and then like if he comes to pick it up, he gets hit by the back air too. We play well off of platforms. Yeah, we get good grab reward because of Buster throw combos, which doesn't normally happening as floaties. So that's big. We keep him in the corner pretty well. Have you practiced gyro combos? A few. I've mostly been practicing gyro movement, so things like Z-drop gyro. And because of Shulk's gravity, his Z-drop gyro is really weird. You need to Z-drop very early, which is a shame. But it lets you do Z-drop down air, which is pretty good. And then like recatch, stuff like that. So I think overall though, like I think okay, so this is the dynamic of the Rob Shulk matchup. Rob wins unless Rob or let me fix that. Shulk wins unless Rob makes a play. Shulk wins unless Rob makes a play. So a play can be like a 2-frame down air. It can be an up smash at 90. It can be a 0 to death while I don't have my shield. It can be any of those things. Shield or smash, by the way. You can use both to escape the combo. So, like, if Rob makes one of those plays, then it's more of an even game. But then if you make another play, then you're back to winning. Right? So, I think, like, the general neutral is way too good for Shulk. If you learn how to parry his nairs, you get very far too. His down tilt kind of sucks, but we're very good at not being in that range. And because his dash grab is so subpar, we often avoid a lot of his pressure too. We can neutral jump out of his down tilts very well. And then like the best thing he gets is like a forward air. He's good at nickel and diming us, but if we aren't too reckless with Buster, we're pretty good. We should generally only Buster in this matchup if he's in disadvantage. If we do it in a neutral, we can actually lose the game in like no time. If he lasers us when we're in Buster in a neutral, we lose. Outside of that, like again, down air, 2-frame, ruins us. His upside shadow shield is pretty good, honestly. Don't miss attack. We can shield art out of his up air, which mitigates his confirms a lot. You have to, I think, YYZ, do you use like Mario Party mashing? Like with your palm? Or, I don't know what the optimal way to mash is in this game. But if you mash fast, you usually get out. And then he has to up air, and then if he has to up air, you get to shield art. So you can Mario Party mash with like your left hand, and then use your right hand to air dodge. Yeah, exactly. Stick only, right? So you can use your palm to mash, and then use your other trigger to air dodge, or the other way around if you have like your if you have your left trigger to air dodge. And then like you can air dodge out of a potential up smash as well. And then if he does go for the up air, you can still react and go to the shield. So, yeah, it's rough, but it works. Yeah, the beam clash mash, exactly. I call it Mario Party mash. I recommend just going all in on the mash. Like don't it hurts. You can get blisters on your hand from doing it, but it works. Shulk low profiles while being buried after down throw, meaning up smash doesn't hit Shulk. I didn't know that was a unique thing. I thought it was a universal thing. But there you go. Ryu. I have a decent amount of Ryu experience, and to me it's always felt like a decent advantage. I would put him like right around here. I think Ryu is a fair bit slower. However, his confirms are faster than Ken's, so sometimes you cannot shield art out of them on reaction, which to me means he does a little bit better than Ken, from my experience. I think... Oh, it hits Sephiroth? That's ripped, dude. That's rough. We do gimp Ryu pretty hard, just like Ken. So that's like a big plus. However, another plus that Ryu has is his Tatsu is actually pretty good against Shulk, because he can like kind of burst range us, and then we can die like 130, which is pretty bad for us. And like burst range can be really good, as you may know, against Shulk. So if you can read like, if he reads us trying to, he can pivot up smash. That's crazy. If he reads us trying to wall, he can actually call out with a side B and get under like our back air, or like past our backswing on the neutral air, and still hit us. So like his Tatsu is kind of scary. His ground game is really good. Like he kind of like fucks us up in the close range, but he struggles to get into close range like all the other Shotos. We can platform camp him, which is the most important thing. Same for Ken. Platform camp is very good. Yeah, generally we do pretty well. We just do pretty decent, but it can be very swingy because of how we cannot shield art his confirms all the time. Sheik. So I have a lot of experience against Sheik, in case you didn't know. But I find it hard to say that I'm very confident, because I feel like the matchup is very complex. But I would say she's right around... It's either a very slight advantage for Shulk or it's even. So here's what I think about the matchup. If Sheik doesn't make a play, it's like a very slight favor for Shulk. But if she gets a Gimp, then we need to get an early kill to compensate, or we lose. And it's a very slow-paced matchup because I'm going to put it in like a super slight advantage. But on a matchup chart, I would put it as even. So the reason why I think that is... Please, Cam. The reason why I think this is because... Camera? I believe in you. There you go. So the reason I think this is because we're really good at platform camping out Sheik. And if we platform camp out Sheik, we actually get to go into... we get all our Monados, and then from there we do very well. We can up to shield our tilts, but we cannot do it on reaction. We need to do it on a hard read. So it's basically, if anything hits our shield, we press up B. And that is bad mojo, because like if you go for that, then she can run up and grab us. And then if she grabs us, we actually kind of get fucked because her grab combos are really good. So like when she grabs us, we need to have shield, or else it's really bad. Or we need to have smash. Smash is even better because then we get out of the string. But then we also need smash to kill her. So we would rather use shield first. But then shield kind of risks you being put in a bad situation. And yeah, so she has a good disadvantage between because of bouncing fish, which we need to call out. But then again, if we do, we're in a really good spot. And she can burst grenade and then grab the ledge, which means we cannot ledge trap her. That's a huge thing. Because like ledge trapping is where we get most of our kills, right? We can pressure her off stage, which is pretty rare. But then like if she gimps us, we kind of lose. I don't think it's Mr. R biased at all, Senfo. I think True 4 thinks this matchup is even. And I think a lot of Sheiks actually think... I think Void says that Sheik beats Shulk. I think that's what he said. I don't agree with that because of the difference in, like, kill power. And, like, our up smash is really good in this matchup. If we up smash her, we crouch under her rising nair, and we can actually hit her in a lot of situations. It can be very, very good. It can also... Oh, okay. We can also up smash her landings, which can be really, really good as well. However, the reason why I put it at +1 Shulk is because I feel like if Shulk plays like at the top, like echelon, like the absolute max of his game, he shouldn't get gimped too often. Not often enough for Sheik to win 3 out of 5 games. That is what I honestly think. I think Mr. Arsh is better than me, especially in the character. Like, he's been playing Sheik since Brawl. I've been playing Shulk since like 1.5 years ago. A little bit longer than that by now. We're actually nearing 2 years. Let me see. I started playing Shulk in, I think it was November of 2019. So yeah, that's about 1.5 years ago. Just about. October or November, something like that. So like, there's a very clear difference in experience, which shows in how fluidly he plays the character and how strained I feel when I'm playing as Sheik. Let's talk about Wario. I have a decent amount of Wario experience. I would put it like right around here, maybe a little bit less, right around here. It feels like we have a teeny tiny advantage. He fucks us up in close range, but we outdamage him and we shield art his combos, which contributes to outdamaging him. We're very good at occupying the airspace, forcing him to play more on the ground. But then on the ground he has down tilt, which is really good against us. We're good at gimping him as well, and he's really bad. I didn't play Shulk much of line either, that's true, in tournaments. So he's really bad at dealing with Buster because he doesn't have enough time to start drifting away. And he doesn't have enough time to like bike away either. So if we hit him in Buster, he actually really struggles. He's actually pretty vulnerable to our hitboxes in my opinion, even though he's very nimble normally. Because our hitboxes are so lasting and like disjointed, we can actually hit him. Which means we can neutral air like in Smash at like 140 and kill him at 140 reliably, which is really good. We get shooter out of his waft combos, which is really good as well. Our down air is really good against his recovery. On stage down air, that is. And like overall, like in jump, we can chase him off stage very well. His bike is surprisingly good burst range against us. But like it's not that big of a deal in the matchup. That said, I haven't played against Gluttony. I only played against BJ and S1. Both who I did, like I beat both of them pretty comfortably, pretty consistently. But if I look at the tools, it feels like it should be closer to even than what I experienced. So I'm going to put him a little bit lower, but I'm not super confident on that. I might actually... No, I think he's fine where he is. I mean, I'm a little bit less confident maybe. Because like I know Gluttony is that much better than the other Warriors, right? Zero Suit, I'm decently confident against Zero Suit that this is like a really good matchup. I would put it like right here. Yeah, what do? We shoot out of her combos. We shoot out of her kill confirms. We control the mid-range better than she does. We counter her Zair as well as her side B, which is actually really big. Being able to counter Zair means that she cannot just Zair us out in neutral, which allows her to control the mid-range even more. Our full hop aerials are really hard for her to deal with. Her normal answer to pressure is up behind a shield, which we can shield art again. We kill her extremely early. We live until insane percents. However, she's still Zero Suit. She still has no disadvantage. She's a really good character, so I wouldn't really call it a +2 per se, but it's nearing the +2 territory. That's what I think. As you may notice, I don't really think Shulk +2s or worse a lot of characters because of how inherent his flaws are. Let's see. You counter on Zair on read. Yes, it is on read. But like the thing is, if she down smashes as punish, or forward smashes, or up smashes, we can shield art out of all of those. So she doesn't get to hard punish us. She can down B, like maybe, but like I don't think I've ever seen the Zero Suit do that. I mean, technically it's possible, I guess. So there's that. I think that might be fair enough if you want to argue that that is the correct move. But the thing is, like, the possibility of Zair already makes it harder for her to go for Zairs. And then when I'm crouching at that range and I see her jumping, she's going to do an empty land and I'm going to call out the dash attack, right? Stuff like that, very important. Overall, we do very well against Zero Suit. Again, we outdamage her. We drop her we stop her kill confirms. We outkill her. But she's still Zero Suit. She's still nimble. She can still get like stray backer kills, which are really good against Shulk. If you have like stray kill moves against Shulk, you do a lot better. And she still contests the mid range, right? Like her rising forward air is a 50-50 whether she's gonna end up behind us or in front of us, depending on where we want to like up B at a shield. But we can still pressure even if we don't up B directly. Her normal get up jab actually makes it harder for us to ledge trap her, which is pretty annoying. And then like her down B mix-ups, of course, make it harder to ledge trap as well. We can actually gimp her, which is interesting. Yeah, I think overall, we just do exactly what Zero Suit hates, basically. Let's look at these. Let's look at Terry first. So Terry is the easiest one. I'm decently confident that Terry is, like, I would say like right around here. We gimp Terry too well. He actually does pretty decently in a neutral. His crack shoot actually occupies the mid range pretty well, which kind of sucks for us. But then we can up B it out of shield pretty consistently, which is huge. It's like -12, which I don't know who thought that was a good idea. But then he can mix it up with like power dunk. He can mix it up with like dash attack. He can mix it up with dash grab. He can mix it up with dash forward tilt, which is really good. And we cannot up B it out of shield. So he has a lot of tools to play the neutral, but his offstage is just that bad. And he doesn't get to go almost ever against Shulk. If he does get to go, he does very well. So overall, we do well, but we do well almost exclusively off of offstage pressure. We also don't really juggle him well because he has so many like horizontal mix-ups that we cannot really follow or react to. So overall, I would say like the neutral isn't that bad for Terry. We do generally win, but it's not that bad. Offstage is just really bad, and yeah, he fucks us up in close range, just like a lot of characters do. But he struggles a little bit more with like his general game plan because of how bad his offstage is. And now I'm thinking I might need to push. It's more like -16. It doesn't matter for Shulk. Like the next best thing he gets is like Nair to shield, which is frame 16. Which might be good, but I actually don't know for sure. I might have to let it out. I might want to push Ryu up because it feels like Ryu kind of struggles in the similar way that Terry does. So we're just gonna push these up for now. Because the offstage is just that impactful in my opinion. Like offstage is huge in those matchups. I'm gonna move Ryu down a little bit. Because I feel like Ryu has focus, which is a lot better than what Terry has. Focus can be hard in like a horizontal situation. It can be hard in like a horizontal situation to break focus for Shulk. Let me cock block Frozen. So we'll do Steve first. Steve, I'm decently confident in that we pretty much win. Yeah, Ryu has focus. I talked about that. So I will put Steve, I think like right about here. I think we do solid against Steve. Overall, just looks like a winning matchup to me. What more to say? I think I'm gonna push Ness down a little and push Piranha Plant because I think Plant does a little bit better. Steve has like he's still a top tier. He has recovery mix-ups with Minecart. He has Diamond. He has Minecart in neutral. He has a good dash attack. He has up tilt. He has jab, which we can up B, but it can be pretty rough to deal with sometimes. Overall, he has options, but we still do pretty well. We beat him in the neutral. We can destroy his blocks from a safe range with down tilt, and then beat him in the burst range. If he does camp, we can get our Monados back, so we are not always like super pressured to pressure him, but we do prefer to pressure him. Our speed is really well against speed. Our speed is really well against his mining, because his mining does have lag, right? So we do get to pressure him if he doesn't stop mining when we destroy the blocks. What's up, Quality Q1? You're at the tail end of the stream. Our Buster destroys his minecart as well as his blocks pretty easily, and then we destroy his offstage with Ledge Slip Fair. It's not even fair. He doesn't really get around it at all. He has the minecart, and then we can meet the minecart in the air, and from there we just do really well. Let's see. I'm actually gonna move Duck on down one tad. Yeah, so I think Steve doesn't do that well against us. I'm gonna move Plant back up one, actually. Change my mind. And Ness too. So, let's do the final two. So, Min Min. Min Min, I'm pretty sure, is a win-win. I think we do about as well as against Steve. Maybe a little bit worse. Or a little bit worse, yeah. Min Min is a little bit too strong. She has more X Factor than, like, a lot of characters in the game. I think, the way we pressure Min Min diagonally with speed from platforms is really good. We push her off stage very easily. We shield if we hit her with the forward air in Smash Art, she can die at like 40. I played this matchup against Rinor, against Jesse, against Delano, against Anti-Reflex. I beat all of them. Well, Rinor, I didn't beat Rinor, but it was Wi-Fi. But I beat the offline Min-Mins. Yeah, overall, it just looks like a really good matchup for Shulk. He plays the range in which Min-Min mixes up. So, like, Min-Min's mid-range, where she's kind of like dash attack, down tilt, grab, like that kind of mix-up. We kind of, like, dominate that range. And then, like, if Min-Min plays more defensively, we can actually, like, run her down for it. I think our back air zone breaks Min-Min very well. And we can actually run up shield in speed art. And then, like, up out of shield against her arms and do really well, too. Or, like, jumping neutral out of shield, which clanks the next arm. We can parry the second arm, which is really good as well. If she's off stage and we're in jump art, she's dead. She's actually dead. And we can get her super early there if we have, like, an early smash. Buster is really bad against Min Min, unless she's in, like, the corner. If you have her in the corner or, like, on the ledge trap, go to Buster, get her to, like, 50, and then just, like, fuck her up afterwards with, like, smash. Platforms are important. I would never go to Final Destination against Min Min. Never ever go to Final Destination against Min Min. If she juggles you, land on the platform. If you're in neutral, land on the platform. Camp for your Monados, land on the platform. Like, if you're on the platform, go to speed. Short hop off the platform, advance on her. She cannot deal with that. If you don't have platforms, you can do the same with jump. Stuff like that. You cannot parry the second arm consistently. You can if it's not Ram Ram. But if it's Ram Ram, it's actually like... If it's Ram Ram and you're in speed, you can actually approach her. But you can actually parry the second arm on reaction. If it's Megawatt, I think. I don't know about Dragon. But I know I've parried Megawatt on reaction. Which is big because Megawatt, in my opinion, is her best arm against Shulk. Because we cannot easily clank it away in speed art. I think Megawatt is actually underrated against Shulk. But it's worse on whiff. And then if it whiffs and I'm in speed, I get to punish. So, it's a little bit weird. But yeah, FD Min Min is really broken. So yeah, get platforms. Get platforms for sure. And small stages are good too because you push her off stage a lot more easily. Alright guys, it's time for the final matchup. Pyra Mythra. I am actually pretty confident. Pretty confidently gonna put her right here. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's under Joker and above Sheik. So it's like this line with decent amount of confidence. I'll put her right here in confidence. When I played against Pyra Mythra for the first time, I thought they beat Shulk. The more I play against the character, the more I start to see that I don't think they beat Shulk. Let's see. What's there to say? So I played this against Mr. R, who is probably one of the best Pyra Mythras in the world right now. He grinded the characters a lot. Maybe not anymore, but when we played, he was. And the crux of the matchup is that we can basically we can keep Pyra out with back air, which is very hard for her to deal with because it's comparable range to her dash attack. Which other characters that kind of like threaten her that range, like Palutena and Snake, their dash attack goes through our back air. Mythra doesn't always have that, but she can crouch under it. But it's kind of like weird. The thing about back air walling is that you back air wall on her dash forward, not on where she is. Yeah, Min Min has too much X Factor to have unplayable matchups in my opinion. Unless it's like Pikachu or Sheik, maybe that's horrible. But yeah, so what is there to say? So we can up out of shield everything that Mythra does, which is huge. We can up out of shield her forward tilt, her up tilt, and her down tilt. Her down tilt is the hardest to do. Let's actually look up her frame data. Oh, that's wrong. So, so her down tilt is -11 and -10, and it's really hard to react to. But like, it's the same as Sheik. You don't react, you just wait for someone to hit your shield, and then you up B immediately. So these, like, you can up B all of these. So that's huge. You can up smash the dash attack, which is also huge. So if they go for the cross up, they can die for it. The Nair is up B out of shieldable, which is big. And then the thing about Mythra is that like, you can grab her a lot because of her foresight, which kind of struggles to mitigate grabs. Though she can jab to mix it up. That's a little bit more committal. Her jab is actually super underrated in my opinion. She can jab and then like kind of dash away. It's hard to deal with. The crux of the matchup though is that she doesn't oppress as much as Sheik, because her like rising aerial that kind of covers the ground as well. For Sheik it's Nair and it's hard for me to beat. For Mythra it's Nair and it's easy for me to beat because I can up B it. Not always, because she can kind of mix up the timings at times. But we can up B it. And that kind of leaves her with like dash tech and like grounded tools and like rising aerials as like a mix-up rather than oppression tools. And because it's not oppressive, we actually do pretty well. She struggles with speed art a little bit, in my opinion. I think speed art does really well against Mythra. Doesn't do as well as against Sheik because, again, Sheik just kind of like dominates the air with like neutral air, forward air, stuff like that. And even in speed, it's hard for us to beat that. Mythra, a little bit different. She struggles with speed. Her auto shield isn't amazing, in my opinion. She has like a B and like forward air, which are okay. They're good against my down tilt, which is surprising. But overall, I wouldn't say it's that amazing. Her recovery is really bad. We can often like down air her for side being. We can ledge flip her for up being. And then the worst thing about the matchup is that we destroy her. We destroy Pyra. Shulk does really well against Pyra. I have so many games against Mr. R where I just live until 160. Because as soon as he hits Pyra, I'm camping. And he's giving me my Monado arts back. And when he goes back to Mythra, because he's like, I cannot win the neutral with Pyra, I have more arts. And then if he does win the neutral with Mythra, I have way more time to stall. I go to jump, I stall my recovery, and then I go into shield, and then I have shield again against Pyra, and we're good again. We can up B out of shield Flame Nova, which is big too. The one thing about Pyra that I don't like is that we cannot up B out of shield her forward tilt and down tilt, which is huge. But then we can't, but those don't kill as well. Forward tilt kills decently, of course. But yeah, we're also really good off the ledge, so we can do like drop, double jump, or like in jump, we can drop, double jump forward, neutral air dodge to the center of the stage. Pyra cannot really follow that. She still has Ike dash attack, which again, it's good against Shulk. You can kill me for walling. That's why against Pyra, I never wall, because I don't need to. Because if I start walling, I lose the dash attack, I lose the blazing end, and I just open myself up way too much. So I just play very passively. I wait for my Monados, and then I start to dominate Pyra from there. If she hits an up B, I can shield art. If she hits a neutral B, I can shield art. If she hits a side B that kills, I can shield art. So like, there's a lot of things I can shield art. If she hits a down air, I can shield art. So like, Pyra just doesn't do that well against Shulk. If she does find an early kill, of course, it's really nice. But generally, it takes a while for me to die against this character. So yeah, overall, I think we do too well against Pyra for the matchup to be even. If Mythra had kill power, and if there's like a future where Mythra gets more developed, I can actually like move them back because I feel like the character can be more developed. So I'll push them here. If the character gets more developed and gets more kill power that I cannot shield art out of, that's very important. If I cannot shield art out of it, then the matchup is probably even. So like, if foresight forward smash becomes like a super consistent, like super common thing to see, then it might just be true. But then again, if she foresights my back air, I can Monado switch during my landing lag, even if I am slowed down, and avoid the forward smash. So her foresight against my landing aerials actually is not that great, which is surprising because normally it's amazing against landing aerials, not against Shulk. Yeah, normally Shulk kind of struggles with like reversals, like rolls, like spot dodges. But because Mythra's rolls and spot dodges are more laggy, it's actually a huge advantage to Shulk that is the case. So like if she rolls in, Shulk can still like hit her in a lot of situations, or like up B to shield her for it, dash attack her for it, stuff like that, which normally isn't the case against most characters that roll. Like up B is sometimes possible if you're like super sharp. But yeah, I feel like the matchup is like a slight advantage for Shulk. But it might still be like even. I wouldn't be surprised if it was even. Let's see. Yeah, we murder them off stage. We juggle them well, especially Pyra. We murder Pyra in the air. They don't really gimp us, which is big for Shulk. That means that we can use jump to gimp them instead. Yeah, we benefit from foresight. We play a decent neutral against Mifra, good enough to rely on higher damage and like shield art. She's not amazing against shield art because eventually she has to use an air move, and after the air move, her shield art pressure is often like kind of gone. Unless it's like up air, in which case she doesn't like. It's still a mix up, but it's not like an amazing mix up because her up air does no damage. We shield art out of a lot of Pyra confirms, which is important. Yeah, overall just a good matchup. So let me do some final adjustments. So we have Peach, Snake, Palu, Greninja, and Pikachu in dead even. I think if any of these matchups are losing, they're probably gonna be Pikachu. It's probably gonna be Pikachu. I think Pikachu is the main matchup where I think this might be losing. I can see Greninja too, and maybe further, like maybe Palutena and Snake, but I really don't think so. I can see Sheik eventually being losing. If Sheiks get better at using like using crouches, that could be big. Mr. R has been using a lot of up B to kind of like call out my preemptive walling, which is interesting because like I can punish it pretty hard in certain situations. But I actually think it's such a good tool because it makes my incentive even worse, which means that she can pressure me even harder. So Sheik might actually become a losing matchup eventually. I can actually see that happening. So I might move her down. It's hard to say, man. It's hard to say. Because like I feel like in a game in which no gimps happen, Shulk wins. Like if no gimps happen, Shulk wins. Or like an early down tilt up smash that I didn't shield art. But it's hard to say. I feel like we can brute force our way from the offstage so well. I'm really struggling with Sheik lately. I want to do better. I went to Mr. R's place this week, and I just didn't do as well as I wanted to. I felt like I wasn't really on point, and it's been making me second guess myself a lot in the matchup. Because like I used to be pretty confident in the matchup, but it feels like I just wasn't on point, and now I don't know if that was like me not being on point, or if that's just like him playing the matchup better. But yeah, like I think Lucina is definitely a contender for even. I think all of these characters like could be even, like Wario, Banjo, Roy, Pyra, Mifra could be even. I think this tier up here, I stopped seeing even. So things like Joker, Rob, Bowser Jr., Sephiroth, Link, Ridley, Samus, I don't really see those as even. If you were to tell me those are even, I would be like, I disagree with that. Like I think you can make a case for a lot. I think you can make a case for all these characters, but I personally disagree, right? And then we get into like a range of like solid wins, which is things like Pokemon Trainer, Min, Ness, Pits. Those are like +1s that could be like +1/even, right? So they're like mild +1s. And then like the solid wins are like Steve, Piranha Plant, Cloud, Byleth is somewhere in there, Falcon. Like I can definitely see as like winning. I don't think a lot of people would argue with that. And then like Yoshi, Pac Man, Hero, Ryu, Mario, those are in my opinion like solid wins. I think the only one you could argue is Pac Man because of T's results. But then again, like personally, in my experience, we do pretty well against Pac Man. Buster is really good against the character. We outkill him, we outdamage him. We generally out neutral him, though that's a little bit more up in the air. He mainly out gimmicks us, but then we have this shield art, right? And then there's like the actual like the matchup that I think you probably need like a secondary for. So it's like Terry, Zelda, Zero Suit, Inkling, Fox, Young Link, Duck Hunt, like everything like above the Mario line. Like I think Mario could play the matchup, but I don't think it would be worth it. But you could win with those characters. Yo, what's up, Hugo? You're just at the end of my stream. This is the matchup chart. If your comment was, hey, this looks like the matchup chart for the best character in the game, you got it right. I think Shulk is the best character in the game. Since the Since the Palutena patch, I think he is the best character in the game. I've gotten a lot better at the Snake matchup. I've gotten a lot better at the Greninja matchup. I just think, like, I thought Pyramithra might have been losing, but they're probably not. Yeah, here you can make a case for Hero being more even than this. I can see Hero being here. Actually, I'll put Hero here. I'll put Hero here. But yeah, this is the final chart. I don't know anything about Marth. I never play against Marth. This is not about my confidence in the matchup. This is about my confidence about the placement. So how confident am I that this is the actual final placement? So anyway, let me send you guys off to some other streamer.